Today's episode is brought to you in part by Cold-Blooded Caffeine, a small batch coffee company built around reptiles, conservation, and really good coffee. Founded by Trey Hall and McKendrick Dunn, Cold-Blooded Caffeine connects roasted to order coffee with real-life conservation in coffee-producing countries. 5% of every bag sold goes directly to conservation efforts, and I'm excited to announce that the Expert and the Idiot podcast now has its own custom coffee blend. Every penny from my profits from that blend will be donated to indigo conservation through the Orion Society. If you want great coffee that actually supports the animals and ecosystems we all care about, check out coldbloodedcaffeine.com. This episode is brought to you in part by Exoterra. If you're as passionate about reptiles and amphibians as I am, you know that quality matters. I use Exoterra products on all my reptile and amphibian enclosures, which is why I'm excited to be partnering with them. From naturalistic decor to innovative lighting and enclosures of all sizes, Exoterra has everything you need for your cold-blooded companions. Exoterra, make your reptiles feel at home. This episode is brought to you in part by Unlimited Exotic Pets. Every day is Veranda Day for Nick Lillis, and it shows. At Unlimited Exotic Pets, Nick produces high-quality monitor lizards with a deep commitment to ethical care practices and top-tier nutrition. These aren't just pets. They're responsibly bred, ethically raised animals. Whether you're looking for a new companion, starting a breeding project, or anything in between, Nick has you covered. Unlimited Exotic Pets, keeping and breeding quality without limitations. This is the Expert and the Idiot podcast. If you like the show and you'd like to support us, there's a link to our Patreon in the description below. Some benefits include getting access to new episodes up to a month in advance. There's also links to USARK and USARK Florida. If you're not already a member, please sign up. Enjoy the show. Yeah, like starting like this. Also, I'm maximally caffeined out, which I like, you know.
Yeah, me too. I know.
I need the caffeine.
My job, I'm awake at like 4, go to the gym, then go to work. And it's like, I wish I could do that with podcasting because I would be so much sharper. I'm doing it at 7:00 and that's the end of my day. So it's
I can't do that. I have a very, very hard time with that.
Yeah.
And then my problem is going to sleep after that because I'll often get like excited.
I'm pumped up. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially you just did MJ's show.
Yeah.
You get off of that and you're buzzing because it's live.
Yeah, man.
It's a whole different experience,
Yeah.
So it's like you do that and you're all wound up and and then like with me, at least, I start thinking about, oh, what did I say? Why did I trip on my words?
Yeah.
Why did I say this? I should have said that, and then like, I'll just like dream about everything I said wrong.
Yeah.
That entire
It's weird.
night.
I don't know for you, but for me, being a guest I find harder than being the host. Probably because I've done so many on the side of hosting as opposed to being the guest. So it's like, I don't know. It's like a comfortable feeling that, you're not the one that has to answer the questions. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
No, I agree. Yeah. Because then the onus is on you to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Now you're the guest, you're the subject. So you better
bring it.
Yeah. So yeah, that is more stressful. And then like doing it live on top of that, it's like,
you're always afraid you're going to say the wrong thing or somehow it comes off wrong or, I don't know, but that's the fun of it. Right.
Well, and the upside too, like a lot of the times MJ will have more than just one guest on. Yeah. And then you can really think about what you want to say before you say it.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's one-on-one, you're like, oh God, I have to talk now.
Yeah. It's like a constant hot seat question. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember the first time I went on there. The first time I went on Trap Talk, it was like having my toenails pulled off when he did the hot seat questions. Cause I didn't think he was going to do it with me.
Yeah. Right. I was like, oh shit.
And he was like, what's your favorite, hip hop artist? And I'm like, what is hip hop? What is rap? I don't even know right now.
And it's like, if you were just having a conversation, you would probably be able to say whatever it was much easier. But because it's like, rapid fire, you're like, oh my God, my brain can't think.
Yeah. I think he said something like East Coast or West Coast. And I'm like, what does that mean? Of Florida or of America? Because we have both here.
Yeah, right. More detail, please. Yeah, that's great.
Oh man, yeah. I'm just so unintelligent that it, it just.
Yeah,
it's very
I feel your pain.
It's so easy to fluster me.
Likewise.
That's like sometimes I'm at work and people will say something and it goes so far over my head.
Where
I think that they're being serious, and I'm like, yeah, I guess we could do that, and somebody else is like, he's joking. I'm like, oh man, God,
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the touch of the tism of us snake keepers,
Yeah, it could be. Could be. We're an interesting bunch for sure. That's no doubt.
We are. There's a lot going on with us. Mm-hmm. There's, it's like the more I talk to keepers, I'm like, we all have some kind of trauma or something. Like it like there's something going on with all of us. like find me one really well-balanced individual that keeps snakes.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. My at work, my team changed, so I got a new group of people, and it's always an interesting conversation about, I don't like usually go into it because, I don't know how that's going to go, but I put on the thing. Oh, you're going to Australia, huh? What do you do there? And I'm like, my first response is I photograph wildlife, and they're like, oh, that's cool. Like, what kind of wildlife? And I'm like, I go and look for
exclusively
snakes. Yeah. They're like, what? You go and look for snakes. I'm like, yeah, that's how you spend your vacation. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. People don't understand. I mean, we did a little family vacation to Georgia last summer, and by far the highlight of that trip was finding a copperhead.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That was,
snake, man.
But people don't understand that I'm like that's the thing I talk about. Like that's the thing that's burned into my mind.
Yeah. Not the beach or he went to the amusement
waterfalls,
yeah.
All that, it was like, yeah, this one snake crossing the trail that we were fortunate enough to see. This episode is brought to you by Chewy. Most people think of Chewy for dog and cat food, but if you keep reptiles, you should absolutely be using them too. Chewy carries everything from all the brands you trust, like Exoterra, Arcadia, Zoomed, and everything in between. Live feeders to frozen rodents, enclosures, substrate, heat lamps, thermostats, water bowls, misters, and more, all in one place, shipped straight to your door. Sign up for Chewy Plus today, free for 30 days. You get free shipping, 5% rewards, and exclusive offers. I use Chewy, and you should too. I know I've heard you guys talk about this a lot on NPR, is the microclimates,
yes.
and I know I've heard you mention that so many times, and you don't really get it until you're out herping.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, so at the beginning of this trail, it was 92 degrees and sweltering hot. And then we hiked a half mile downhill towards the where this waterfall is.
Yeah.
And it's now like 74 degrees.
Right.
Super humid. There's a breeze coming through, right? And it's like you want to talk about a microclimate. And that's where we found our copperhead. Was like, it wasn't at the trailhead where it was blazing, sweltering hot and sunny. It was down in this, and then all of a sudden you start thinking like, is this what it's like for the Australian species we keep, and like you look at the temperature and the humidity of their native range. And then you're like, yeah, but is that where they are hanging out? Is that where they're sitting? Are they sitting out where it's 114 degrees, or are they?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
No. That's what you think. The first trip we did to Australia, this is where I got kind of caught up in this is how I got to the idea of the microclimates. It was, we get to Australia, we find a carpet python, it's 70 degrees. The humidity was like 85%. I was like, oh, we're keeping them all wrong. This is just all, but this is just, again, it's just a snapshot of that snake at that time. Being out on the crawl. And it's like, so, the more you do it, the more you start to see that. And then, that same trip, we went out west in Queensland to this place called Chillago. And, we're hoping to find some Antaresia or something like that. And, it's like, I want to say it was like 98 to 100 something degrees on the outside of these little caves. And like, and you walk into these like caves, and like then you understand like how the Aboriginals could have survived. Because I kept thinking like, how can they stand this weather, like just constantly being so hot? Like I hate the cold, but this is unbearable, man. Like
yeah.
But then you go into, so it's like 100 degrees, and I got pictures of these taken like temps, and you go into these caves and it's like 70. And it's just like it's just like you're in a different world, and I guess the snakes, and I think that's what Owen Pelly situation is like they're hunkering down in these in the cracks and crevices of the outback, and just escaping that heat. But I think in reptile keepers' minds, it's like we have to apply heat. You're shipping something, it has to have heat. You're keeping something, it has to have a hot spot. So we get so focused on the hot side of it. I don't know. Yeah, they do need heat. They do need to bask. All of those things are true, but I don't know. Just I think sometimes we keep stuff way too hot from seeing stuff in the wild, because whether it's rattlesnakes in the US or pythons in Australia, when it gets past like 90 degrees, you're not finding anything out. Lizards, that's what you find,
Yeah. And so I'm seeing that with my diamond pythons now, keeping them outside.
Yeah. How's that?
Like oh man. Well, I mean, so incredible and terrifying all at the same time. Right. Everybody survived.
Good.
We're on the other side of winter. Everybody ate last night. So I'm super excited right now, because they're all, we're in the mid to high 80s now, which that's the ambient air temperature on my phone. But obviously the surfaces in their enclosures are hitting 100.
Right.
So they're, I mean, I don't know if I've told you this, but I put a Wi-Fi temperature sensor in my insulated hide for my male diamond outside in his cage, which is a 5 by 3 by 4 or something like that.
Okay.
But I put this probe inside his insulated hide, and it was like 55, 56 during the day. And so like you can see the probe was going down to like low 50s, high 40s. And then this one day he went out and basked while it was, 60 outside.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes in and coils up on top of the probe, and the temperature spiked up to like 80 something, 90 degrees.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's cool.
It's nuts. It's so crazy. And the one night I went out there, so I have a rule now that if the temperature goes below 40, everybody comes in.
Okay.
And not necessarily in the warm house, but out in the garage. That way they're still cold, but they're not 33 degrees.
Right. Yeah, 33 is a little like, I don't know.
Yeah, that was not good. I did have my female get down to 33, and that was absolutely, I thought for sure she was dead. I thought for sure it was not going to end well, but she ate yesterday and she's good. But yeah, so I went into, my wife was holding the flashlight, and I go in there and I grab this guy, and he was warm to the touch.
Yeah.
And it was like mid 40s out, but they're so efficient at capturing that heat. And they're in, like, he almost looked like if he was on top of eggs, and it was like that perfect coil.
Yep. Yeah.
And retaining that heat. It's really incredible. I'm learning so much from just keeping them outside. It's so much more interesting watching how they move and like soak up the sun, and I'll temp gun them and it'll be like 100 degrees if they're digesting food.
Yeah. It's crazy. Have they been out there long enough to feel the difference in their scales? Like when you touch them, do they feel rougher?
The male has gotten a lot darker.
Darker. Okay.
Much darker. Yeah. He was super, super yellow, a very light animal. And he's gotten a lot more black pigmentation as he's been outside.
Yeah. It's, when we were in Australia with the Ipers, we stopped by and saw their collection, and they kept imbricata diamonds outside. And the diamonds just felt, I don't know, it just felt different, like my diamonds feel like silky smooth, but you could tell that these are tough, I guess, like they're out in the elements and tough. So,
I guess now that you mention it, like compared to my jungles, they definitely feel more just, I guess, robust. Yeah. Just, they definitely feel different.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's why with diamonds in particular, my feeling is that they do need a basking spot, like something that they can, the closest you can get to recreate the sun, I guess. I know. I mean, I know it's next to impossible, but that's kind of like my goal, is to get that.
Yeah.
So
it's have you ever thought about doing like an outdoor enclosure for during the summers?
I have, I just don't know. Like, I think my worry with that is like, is that gonna affect them in some weird way, that they're like half of the year they're in the sun and it's like, no, you're going back in, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's no way I could keep them up here outside in the winter. I mean,
no, zero chance.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought about with them particular, like maybe setting up like something that I could put them in, so that maybe I could, if they do bask, or if they do get some kind of advantage from being in the sun, that, just experiment with it. I probably will eventually, but
yeah, it's diamonds are so cool. And you guys did your little marathon run of diamond python episodes. And I loved it. I was like, yes.
Yeah. In the past, it was so hard to find diamond python breeders that that were around, and then B, that wanted to come on and talk about it. Usually they're kind of recluse of the Morelia world, I guess. But now, you're starting to see people with more and more success. So it's good. When I started, like, they were like, I don't know. They're, I don't know.
I know, that's what made me afraid to get them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, what if I just keep them outside? After I was talking to the Australian folks, I'm like, what if I just put them outside and just do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
See what happens keeping them outside. I mean, Brandon, I think, did you see Brandon I think he got locks, or he's getting locks with his.
Yeah.
And they're like geriatric.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know. I think if you can keep them outside, that's a great way to do it. Do you keep like a hide that's heated, or no? Okay.
No, I refuse. I thought about doing it, and Aaron Carney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the diamond element.
Mm-hmm.
He does an igloo cooler type thing. It's not an igloo. It's just like a cooler, like a styrofoam cooler, and he just punches a hole in the side of it and sinks it into the ground and puts a rock over it. Okay. And they just go in there, and that's their way of escaping both heat and cold. On
right.
both extremes.
Right.
At some point, I would like to get to that once my females are larger, because they're the ones that Brandon produced. So they're like 2 years old, I think.
Oh,
Not
okay.
even.
All right.
You know, but
Yeah.
they didn't eat this winter. I'm like, which is kind of abnormal for me. You know,
it's weird,
normally
right?
Yeah. Dude, it was so weird. I'm sitting there and I'm like, these guys haven't eaten since October 26th.
Yeah.
You know, and like, but they look fantastic. They look really great, you know. And I said that to Nick, and Nick's like, they're fine. They're more healthy that way, you know.
I love how everybody's version of Nick is just raw. I love the guy, but so he's always like, everybody's like, rah, 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 rah.
Oh man, I love him to death. I hope this wasn't like too private or too personal, but he was like, yeah, my girlfriend says like I might be autistic because I like dinosaurs. And I'm like, dude, we're probably all there. That's why we have all these animals.
Like you said at the beginning, just a little bit. Oh.
Something's going on.
Yeah. He's actually, we kind of didn't announce it officially yet, but the first episode of for him and Warren for Beneath the Scales is done. So that's good. It's a step in the right direction.
When is that coming out? Because he did announce it on my podcast, but that's not coming out for a while.
Right.
Because I record and then it takes like a month.
Yeah.
Stephen Cush jokes it's like 8 months.
Yeah, I don't know. They want to get a couple of episodes down under their belt so they have like a cushion before it comes out. So probably sometime in the spring, I would think. Yeah.
Nice.
So
yeah, that'll be exciting. The hype is building. People are excited.
He's been trying to do it for like 4 years, and it just, I don't know. It just never took off. You know, I think it's timing, and Nick is a little tech challenge for sure. So his idea of like how to do a podcast is like, he doesn't know. And I remember
I need to help him. He got all, like the same mic and headphone setup I have. But he's putting the mic too far away. I need to tell him like, dog, you got to get it like right in front of you. Yes. Otherwise it's going to work too hard. It's going to pick up all your surrounding sounds and everything. Yeah. And then you're losing the benefit of having the mic equipment you have.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. I have to pay attention to, because like when he comes on as a guest, it's especially, in the Blog Talk days, because he didn't do the headphones or the mic or anything like that. So it's like, it's always echoing in the background. And it's like, oh my God. So I'm like trying to mute. I would be muting as like, you know what I mean? So it's like trying to save the audio, because I know the content is going to be great, but it's just
I remember those episodes. I remember those where it's like, hold on, you muted, Nick. We have to keep muting you because the echo.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, the early days of podcasting. So much fun.
Yeah, he his last episode, well, not this last one, the one prior to that.
Right.
People were complaining about the audio in the comments.
Right.
Which kills me.
Yeah.
Because I put so much effort into that episode, and I made him like a special intro. Right. Like a Star Wars themed kind of parody intro.
Right.
For Nick Mutton Strikes Back, and it had like Expert and Idiot. Like it was, in my opinion,
right.
I spent like 8 hours on this, and I got it to where I was so happy with it. And then I hear the audio and I'm like, what am I doing here?
Right.
You know? And then people are like, he sounds like he's underwater. And I'm like, thank you. I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
I can hear that too.
Yeah, I edited it. I tried to salvage it. Yeah. This is the best I could do.
Yeah. I'm going back through the catalog of the early. So NPR we started on Blog Talk, and I forget the year we switched over off of that and started doing StreamYard. But all those old episodes were on the Blog Talk. And then like I get this email that says, we're closing down Blog Talk and everything that's there is going to be erased. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm in this frantic, rush to get everything downloaded for me to upload again so that all those episodes aren't lost, So here's the tip. Always save the files of your podcast. I don't know if you do or you don't, but for forever, especially with Blog Talk, it wasn't like you record. It was like you just recorded it and it just went up. You didn't have a file or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was in a scramble for that. And now I'm like trying to go back and like, I hear audio now and I listen to the audio then, and it's like, how can I make, so I'm like having to like pan pan it and do it in stereo and like try to manipulate the EQ and take out these different frequencies. Then I got to run through this program. So those spikes that, like when Owen would talk versus me, it would be like, raw, It's like, what the hell? Especially if you have ear pods in or something like that. And so I'm trying to get that. So, so it's not, those episodes aren't lost. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. I know that, I tried everything with his audio, man. And he had his own file too, because I always do individual audio files.
Yeah.
And I put it into Adobe Audition.
Uh-huh.
And even there, I couldn't save it. And that's like I paid for it specifically for that. And I'm like, level it out, fix this, remove noise, background sounds. And I'm like, click, still sounds like shit. All right, we're done,
Yeah.
But I remember I told Brandon that, and Brandon's like, he's like, dude, just make fun of him and he'll get new equipment. So I go to Nick and I'm like, hey, people are complaining about your audio. And he's like, what do I need?
Yeah, he doesn't ever want to do anything half-assed. So that is an advantage.
Yeah, I just had to give him a hard time. And then, you don't want to be the loser, do you? Literally the worst audio anybody's ever heard.
The best content, but the worst audio.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
That's So. I was sitting there and I'm like, so many good points, but people aren't listening.
Yeah.
But so bringing everything back onto food.
Okay.
I've heard you say in the past that you start with a smaller meal.
Okay.
And then you kind of work your way up. Do you still do that?
As far as what, like when they're coming out of breeding or?
Yeah. Well, when they're coming out of their cycle and
I do. And I don't know. This is what freaked me out about it. I had a Moluccan scrub and, I cooled them all down. I brought that one up, and at the time I was given like normal sized meals as that first meal. I gave it that and it died. And I was like, so I was talking to some people about it, and they had suggested that meal was too big, and that their system was kind of overloaded. I think it was, I was just listening to, I think it was Trap Talk. I don't know. I was listening to somebody, I think it was the thing with Ryan and William, where they were talking about the ball python mark. Somehow like, what do you do with ball pythons now or something like that? But anyway, they were talking about how
what do you do with all these ball pythons?
It was they were talking about that exact thing. Like feeding is very stressful on their system, especially for pythons. They have to like their everything shuts down, and then they have to like regenerate their stomach, back up, and everything has to expand. So it's a lot. It's taxing on their body, and I've had that happen twice. And so I'm like, you know what? For the first meal, I'm just going to give them a small meal, get their system up and going, and then offer, slowly take it back up. Not like super small. Like if I feed them like let's say I feed them a medium rat normally, I might do like a small rat or like a weanling rat or something like that, or maybe a mouse even, some like a large mouse, just something that like gets that system starting, and then I just go right behind that and feed them a regular meal. So
it's that's what I did yesterday. Everybody got sort of an undersized meal.
Mm-hmm.
To where even when I was giving it to him, I'm like, this is really a small meal, like, but and part of me was thinking like, this isn't how it would be out in nature. It's like, well, what we're doing isn't nature, and I get that, like an outdoor snake. Yeah. If something comes walking by, they're going to grab it and destroy it.
Right.
And that's it. But also, that nothing we're doing is natural. It's maybe naturalistic if you set it up that way, but even running UV and all that stuff, like you said, you're never gonna come close to the sun.
No. Maybe
you're not gonna come close to
yeah, you just can't recreate that in a box. You can maybe figure out the important parts of it and try to do that. But yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
Yeah, it's so everybody's fed, and I'm super excited, man. I'm so excited this year. I don't know why. I'm just like I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's because this is my first time where I did like a long fast for everything.
Right.
And there was always this part of me like I must feed my snakes, you know, where I would start the process and then I get like 6 weeks in and be like, oh, everybody should eat, you know, something, and then we'll, you know, but yeah, it's like, I mean, my Argentine boa, I think somehow she grew while she didn't eat since October, you know, and it's like it doesn't make any sense, but these aren't people, you know, they're not
right.
They're not humans, you know.
Olive pythons are like that. You'll feed them, and then you don't feed them for a little bit, and you come back and they're like 2 times bigger. You're like, what?
It's crazy.
How did that happen? You know?
Yeah, my female jungle this year, her head started getting that mature Morelia head.
Yeah.
You know, I think she's like she's coming up on, I think she's coming up on 3. She's almost 3, and she just like, her head just got like more mature, more angular, bigger, you know, more menacing. I fear her more now.
Yeah. If you get latched on by that, it's not going to be like when it was a little, you know,
yeah,
little neonate. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, now I look at her and I'm like, it's okay, we're fine.
How many jungles do you have?
I have 4.
4. Okay.
Yep. And 2 of which from someone who shall not be named.
Okay. They didn't come from Hoser, did they?
No, it's a cross I have to bear.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
That none of that stuff makes any sense to me, but
yeah,
what a bummer.
Yep.
You know, especially like when you go around recommending somebody and then that stuff starts coming out and you're like, oh no.
I found that with Australia keepers, right? I would think like, oh, this person seems legit. And then, you know, I would always have somebody in the background saying, no, don't have that person on. And we're like, oh, okay. I'm glad somebody's looking out for us, you know?
Yeah, I hate that. I hate it when I'm like, isn't that the worst thing when you, I don't want to say anything, but like if you schedule somebody and then somebody's like, hey, so-and-so, blah, blah, and you're like, oh no, I have to have this person on.
Yeah.
You know, and like, yeah, that's, but you can't be responsible for everything, you know?
Well, yeah, you know, I don't know. I kind of look at it as, I think like sometimes my thought is like, you want to put different ideas and perspectives out there, you know, like somebody that may look at things differently or something, you know, but at the same time, like it's so hard to balance this stuff, man. Like you want to make sure that you're putting out good content and good people and representing the hobby right, and you know, and not get on people that are like, you know, we were talking about that guy Samson, right? Because we try to stay out of drama, man. I really just try to stay out of all that kind of shit and get involved with, you know, this person. You know, I don't know. To me, it's about the animals. At the end of the day, I just want to learn about the animals. You know,
I'll talk shit one-on-one, but
yeah, absolutely, sure. Yeah, you want to talk to me about experiences I've had with people or whatever. I'm just not doing that on the podcast. You know, like I just don't think it's a good platform to do that. You know.
Yeah, and I honestly I try not to put anything in writing that might be negative because it could be taken out of context, and you know, people have their sycophants too, and you know, like that are looking for something to deliver to master.
Yeah,
you know, and you know, they just want to say, look what I did. You know,
yeah,
look, I got you screenshots. You know, and that's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, a one-on-one conversation is one thing, like you said, talking about experiences and stuff like that, but I don't necessarily want to put my experiences in writing, and you know, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, we got caught up in that early on, and you know, it does get you people listening, that is for sure, but that's not how I like to do it. You know, I would like it to be it on the content, not on drama. So
yeah. When you were I've recently heard you talking about boas. Are you like what's going on there? Like what's catching your eye? What are you interested in?
I don't know. To me, I love the research of anything phase. And to me, that's just like the best part of doing something new,
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like, I think I know about carpet pythons. So it's like, okay, what do I want to learn about next? And I'm looking for something that's similar and that can maybe make me see carpet pythons outside the box, let's say, So it's like, okay, and I don't even know. I think it was going to Keith's house and seeing some of his boas. And it's funny, like when I would go there and I was like, when I first went there, he was showing me all these different boas and stuff. And I was like, nah, I don't care about that. Show me the Boland's python, show me the Woma python. And he's just like, yeah, but these are really cool. And I'm like, I want to see this, And then circling back, I as I started to go down the rabbit hole of like looking into boas, I was like, oh, Keith has those. Oh, Keith has those. Oh shit, Keith has those too. Oh,
yeah.
So I don't know. I think they're close enough to pythons that they're kind of like in the wheelhouse, but at the same time different. I wanted to, one of the things that I've enjoyed learning about pythons and researching their natural history is it's taught me about the world and where, like places that I didn't know where they, you know what I mean? Like I never paid attention to it or whatever. So I was like, how can I do that and learn about more places that I could go to herp or, that's the other thing too, like herping. As much as I want to go to Australia, we're closing in on the rattlesnake list, to tick that off. And it's like, South America isn't that far away. Maybe we could go find some boas and, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I joined Vin Russo's Patreon to just sort of like, get it from the master himself. And,
you're cooked now. You're done.
Keith's telling me, he's like, if I produce Hog Islands, I'll give you some, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh man, this could be bad.
Yeah.
I do like the localities of it. And they're beautiful snakes. Owen's got the Argentines. They're beautiful. I could keep them right in here with the diamonds and life would be great, so
dude, Argentines are special, man.
Yeah,
they really
cool.
are.
Yeah, really cool.
I'm at 2.2.
Really? Oh, so they got you in, right?
Yeah. I love them too much. I got my female and she's staring at me right now. She's right here in this cage and oh my God, I love her. Yeah. She's so cool. They're so neat, and they're spicy when they're babies, and they are. Yeah, but they mellow out. Yeah, I mean, anything. I have a Westridge. I think it's Westridge Reptiles. Is the name of the breeder. And she has Eugene's OS line.
Oh,
and she's like really into the purity of the line and everything. And which is super cool. And they're priced really reasonably, like $700.
Oh,
which is crazy, especially when you're getting something that has like the lineage and everything.
Yeah.
And, I saw that and I'm like, I got to get another male, and so I got another male and he's my youngest one. And it's like, I open up the tub and he's like, it's like, dude, chill out.
Yeah. I want you dead.
Yeah, they're so cool. You know what is another cool one that I've been researching? Like you said, the research is like the coolest thing is the Tarahumara boas.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They're so neat and they're tiny.
Yeah, that's the other thing about these snakes. It's like a lot of the stuff that I would like are like, I guess you would consider dwarf. I don't know if that's what they consider that, but it's like, Hog Island boas are small. I think that's actually what kick-started it. I think I saw Dave Kaufman's video on when he went to Hog Island and like was looking for them, and then they were everywhere, and it was like, oh wow, you can actually go to that place. I mean, I'm sure it's hard to get to, but I don't know. It's just that just sort of started it. And I'm enjoying
boas are so cool. I mean, Matt's into boas too. Matt Minatoli.
Man. Yeah. I've seen his stuff too. And again, it's like when I go to his place, it's like, yeah, check out these boas. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool, Matt. But like, I want to see the short tails, you know? Like,
dude, he's like the short tail boas, right?
Yeah, no. His short tails are next level, man. Holy hell.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. They're so cool.
You got that bug recently, huh? Short tail pythons?
Yeah, but I got 1.2 and I am good on them. The pee is ridiculous.
It's different, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I and they're still in tubs and they're going to be going to enclosures and I'm like, how is this going to work when they dump a bucket of pee in their enclosure? Like that's going to be really annoying to clean up.
Yeah. I think that's
like right now it's like, oh, Morelia poop. You scoop it up, you get everything in one shot.
Right.
There's nothing left.
Right.
And you go about your day, you know, but it's like right now I have pre-made tubs with fresh cocoa. So when they pee, they just swap to a whole new tub and the other tub, I dump it out in my garden because it's shot. Like it's just saturated with urine.
Yeah. And they don't do it that often, but when they do it, man, holy hell. I remember Matt went on vacation and I was watching his stuff and I was like going over there and cleaning his cage. I was like, holy shit. Did a wolf just drop this? What the hell is going on here?
Oh man. One of mine shed and she was sitting there in this mess of pee and shed skin. So I put her in a bucket to soak and I come back and it looked like my retriever shit into the tub, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
If he hadn't gone in 2 days, you know, it's like, what happened here?
They were the first ones that I really started to. So I always had this. I've talked about this before, but I always had this idea when I had all these different python species that they're all the same. They're all the same. They all need the same thing. They don't need, you know, it's a python. You treat it like a python. And I guess in general, that's kind of right. But like I started to realize that there's these like little, you know, I would try to treat the other pythons like I would treat my carpet python. And there's like little tweaks you have to do to sort of to get it right. And with them, you know, handling them was so different than handling a carpet python. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's like a spring in your hand. You know, it's yeah.
And they like always want to back up too. Yeah. It's like they're trying to find something to back up against.
Right.
And you're like, what are you doing? Stop.
Yeah. It's, you know, I remember we were photographing Matt's stuff and I'm treating it like, again, like carpet pythons. And Matt's like, yo, bro, back up, man. Back up. Where this is about to go. And it's like, does this eye twitch thing. And I'm like, he's about to bite the shit out of you. And I'm just like right up in its face.
Yeah.
You know, but
I went and saw Dr. Tillis and he took out, I think it was a Borneo and put it on like a Rubbermaid cart up in the top part. And I went up and I'm like, wow, that's so cool. And I'm looking at it and I'm taking pictures and he's like, back up a little bit. You're too close. Right. Like it'll definitely hit you from there. And I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't realize. And their body language is just so different. You know, it's like, if a carpet python's going to bite you, you know that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Generally.
I think with like, just because I've worked with so many of them, it's just like, I can read their body language pretty good, you know, but just from having so many. But the problem with that is like when I go to other species, I'm thinking it's the same and it's not, you know, so learning curves, you know.
Yeah. Short tails are different. I love them to death, but their maintenance is definitely different. And, but I got indigos too. I got 2 indigos.
I know. That's pretty cool. How you like them?
I love them. They're so insanely cool. It's kind of funny though, because I thought I was getting like velociraptors because of the way everybody talks about their intelligence and everything.
Right.
And then like I go to feed them and they're just like flailing around and hitting into the sides of the tub. And
right.
I'm like, the mouse is right here and their mouth is open and they're like, I'm going to get it, you know.
Eventually it'll make its way here.
Yeah. And then he grabs it and he backed himself up and out of the tub and fell on the floor. Like he grabbed the mouse, hooked his tail over the side, and then just was like, see ya, and went in full reverse and just came out of the tub. I'm like, I don't understand
Wow.
this intelligence thing that everybody's talking about.
Yeah. Sometimes
Have you ever kept dry mark on?
No. I remember when I was a kid, that was one that always had my eye. I don't know why. I think the smell, the constant poop, things like that sort of keep me out of that world. But I do have one colubrid. I have a king snake. My dad gave it to me because he was tired of dealing with things. So he's had this snake since, I think we got it at the NR. I think it was 2001. So it's what, 25 years old.
Wow.
And still going strong, but he did everything that you're not supposed to do with a snake. Like if he trapped a bird outside, he would feed it. He kept them outside during the summertime. And like, he had like this, he made like a tent over top of it so that if it rained, it could get out of the rain, and he just kept it outside and he didn't pay attention to it. And
wow.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like old school keeper, like, kind of ignore it, He's like, that's not what they do in the wild type of thing. And I'm like, Dad, that's not what's going on anymore. We don't do that anymore. What are you doing? Just take it. Like, okay.
What kind of king is it?
California king. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the only colubrid I got.
I've had people ask me, like, are you going to get any other colubrids? And I'm like, I am so solid and so set. Like, I went into the deep end of the pool, and, I don't need to go any deeper than where I am right now.
I think the only other colubrid that like fascinates me, probably, it's weird. I never paid attention to them before, but when we were herping for rattlesnakes, they seem to be always in the same spot as Pituophis. I love them. They're beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So cool. I don't know. I can't wait for Craig's book to come out. I'm sure I'll go down that rabbit hole too, but I would like to, one of the lists for me is to find all of them in the US, all the species, tick that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So we found the hardest. Well, we found the one in the pine snake in Florida.
Really?
Yep. Which is hard to do. And then we found the pine. It took us 6 years. I think it was 6 years, 6 trips to find the northern pine snake. Six years. Yeah. Of Rob coming out here to go to the pine barrens to deal with the ticks and terrible, man. It's terrible. But such a cool thing to find it though. So
yeah, finding a pine snake in Florida is like damn near impossible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know it is, at least down where I am. I know it is. I recently found a pine wood snake.
Okay.
Not Pituophis.
Right.
I've never seen one. And I saw it and I'm like, is that venomous? No, it's definitely not venomous. So I grabbed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking pictures, and then I'm like talking to AI, and I'm like, I found a pine wood snake. Is it cool that I took pictures with it? Like after the fact, thinking that.
Right.
And like, can I make these public?
Right.
And it's like, no, they're like super protected, and you're going to be, fined by the FWC. And I'm like, oh my God, and it thought I was talking about pine snakes.
Oh, okay.
Pituophis.
Right.
And then I find out that pine woods, I'm fine. And so like, I'm like deleting posts and then reposting them and like panicking.
No.
Is that a concern of yours when you go herping in other states? Like, do you look into the legality before you go? Because that is like that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like they take it serious.
Yeah. You got to pay attention to that for sure. So like, interestingly, when we went to look for the Eastern Massasauga, we, they're super protected, super rare. And they're like in this, like I guess it's like a field almost in this state park. Was it state park? I don't even know if it's a state park, but anyway, this field. And we just ended up hooking up with, we had Justin Julander with us, and he started talking to the guy that runs the park, and he was super cool, whatever. Told us not to go onto the grass, but if we walk up and down and, just keep going back and forth and one comes out, da 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 da. But then some herpetology class came by and they were pit tagging them. I think they were pit tagging them, or they were taking the sex, one or the other. But they were collecting them. So we got to be involved in that and see that, which was really cool. So we, it's like you have to be aware of those things. But if we're there with them, we're not actually holding, obviously I wouldn't hold a rattlesnake, but at least you get to see it and tick it off. We wanted to find the one in Pennsylvania because I'm trying to find all the Pennsylvania herps too. So I know you can go out to Ohio and I think it's Ohio, whatever the states around PA, and you can find them all over the place. But they're rare in PA. But yeah, I don't know, things like that. And Australia bums me out because you can run the snake over and nobody cares. But if you move it off the road, then you could get in trouble. I don't know. It seems backwards to me, but
yeah, I feel like there should be laws against collection, but like taking a picture with it or hooking it, like, is that the end of the world?
Yeah, I guess sometimes, like, we have seen where herpers don't respect the habitat or the animals to where, I remember we were looking for king snakes and, or milk snakes it was. And when we were looking for them, you got to flip a lot of rocks and stuff. And, we're coming in behind it and you can see that just somebody didn't place the rock back, they just like ripping apart the environment. So I guess sometimes that, I understand why they would, not everybody's going to respect it, I guess. There are pieces of shit in the world that will not, and ruin it for everybody, So
yeah, I went I herped the Everglades and it was during the crocodiles laying season.
Oh, cool.
And there were signs all along the highway like, watch out for crocodiles crossing. And it's like, well, that's crazy. We're never going to see one. We saw one. And she was laying eggs on the side of the road. Yeah, no, seriously. And when we got to the end, the flamingo boat ramp, we're talking to the guy and he goes, yeah, those signs are out because some dude was ripping down the road going 55 and smashed into a gravid croc and just sprayed her eggs across the highway.
Wow.
Man. Or not even highway. It's the road that goes through Everglades National Park and takes you to the flamingo boat ramp.
Is that the Alligator Alley or something? Is that what it's called?
Alligator Alley. Well, I don't know. It's not. It's
okay.
It's I don't think it is.
I just remember when I was in, this is when I was in there with my in-laws, but when we were down there, we drove this road and they were saying that takes you to the Everglades. I don't know. I think it's called.
Yeah, like 41 or if you take 41 and 75, they both go from like, one coast to the other and take you to eventually to, the Everglades. I mean, the interstate you have to get off, but it's, this goes actually through the park and it ends at Flamingo boat ramp, which is where you can see all the crocs. You can see, we saw crocs there and everything, but yeah, like the whole reason they had those signs out was because, it's like you have to see a gravid croc, like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was, and I mean, the amount of dead water moccasins we saw was crazy.
Yeah.
Super sad.
Yeah.
We were able to see one, or maybe we saw a couple alive and we got one off the road because they come out to the road for the warmth and then they just get smashed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember when our first trip to Australia was like that. It's I prefer to I'm a hike. I like to hike a herp, like if I'm herping, I like to hike it up. I just like to be in the environment. Yeah, driving in the car, herping that way. Sometimes that's what you have to do. In Cairns, that's kind of how it goes, right? So we're driving and we're looking for scrub pythons and it was beautiful. And it just happened and got hit by a truck and it was like perfect, and it's just dead there. And you're just like so bummed out. Like, God damn, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So
that's like my neighbor ran over an Eastern Diamondback intentionally on our street, in front of my property.
Oh, it's brutal.
Right in front of my property.
Brutal.
Yeah, he comes up. I hear him yelling on my driveway, Ed them. And I come out. They're from Moldova.
Uh-huh.
And I come out and I'm like, what's going on, man? And he's like, there's a rattlesnake. And I'm like, hold on. And I run and grab my hook and a bucket. And I'm like, I'll, get it. If it's on his property, whatever, I'll get it out of the way.
Uh-huh.
He's a beekeeper. So like, I was imagining they were like under his hives or something.
Right.
And he's like, no, I already hit it. I ran it over. Don't worry. And I'm like, oh man, what did you do?
Yeah. It bugs me out. I often say to people, like, if it, and I know people have said this before, but like when I'm talking to regular people about that, like, especially like, so my old boss he lives in Florida, and he would send me messages like as he's on the golf course or whatever. He's like, what's this snake? He's like, is this bad or good? And I said, no, it's fine. Just leave it be. He said, I'm going to run it over. I said, don't run it over. Don't run it over. It's okay. It's okay. It's not going to hurt you. He's like, okay, all right. And it's funny. They would call me all the time because they lived in Jersey too. So they would have like black rat snakes and stuff in their yard. And they're like, oh my God, there's a snake. It's going to kill my kids or whatever. I was like, no, it's so hard. So I would go there and hold it. And then they were, so like, I don't know, anytime I can get the chance to do that. And now they're like, okay, it's not going to hurt us, whatever. Just you let that do their thing and we'll do our thing. And,
Yeah.
So, but.
That's the hardest thing, is trying to teach people that they shouldn't kill venomous snakes. It's a hard argument to make with somebody.
Sure. I get it. I get it from the other side, but it's kind of sucks, because if it was a mammal and you were doing that, we would have a different feeling about it just because it's a mammal.
Yeah.
As opposed to a reptile or a snake, especially snake, Lizards, I think, get a little bit of a pass because they have legs, maybe. They can be somewhat cute or something like that,
Well, we had an Asian water monitor in our neighborhood.
Really?
Roaming around. Yeah. And it was on the news. And like people were talking about it. And I'm like, that's literally the city I'm in.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of invasive too, right? They're down there.
I don't think that they're established anywhere. I really think that this is somebody's pet that got out. It was a big fat water monitor.
Wow.
Like it was healthy. I have no idea what ever ended up happening with it. But and then you go into the comments and it's, I got 44 Magnum that'll fix that problem. Let me get my shovel. And it's like, oh boy.
Come on. Yeah.
People.
Why not just leave it alone? It's funny. I remember, so I have this, like when we're out herping and stuff, one of my, I guess, I don't know if you want to say a fear, but has been bears. Like, I'm just like, I don't know, this idea that bears are just going to maul you if they see you or whatever. And if they're with cubs or whatever, it's going to maul you. And I remember we were in Texas and we were climbing, and as we're going up the trail, there's a a mom with her cub. And, we walked by it and didn't see it, but then, we're going up the what do you call that? The zipper back or whatever. So we're looking down and we see people coming to pass it. And I'm like, oh my God, should we yell? They're going to die, And then I started thinking about it and I was like, this is probably the same thing that's in my mind is the same thing that's in people's mind when it comes to snakes. It's like, they're afraid because they don't know, or they're seeing like, Animal Planet, like, 15 killer snakes or whatever it is, top 50 killer snakes. And I guess I saw that same type of content with bears. It would be like everything I'm watching about bears is like some attack, or this person was mauled, or, so I'm like, okay, maybe they're not like that. Maybe there's certain times that they're like that. I don't know. It's just kind of like, I understand that perspective of why people are afraid of them, but like, I don't know, try to break that down one person at a time so they're not afraid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's got to be everybody with alligators. They think that alligators are going to come after them and eat them in Florida. And you couldn't find something that's more terrified of humans.
Yeah, I know.
They're so terrified of humans. Like, I wish I could get closer to them.
Yeah. Go to Australia, see a saltwater croc. You'll come back and you think an alligator is a frog with teeth. You're just like, you're like, yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, and that is scary.
Yeah,
right? Like they are something that looks at a human and says, "That's food. I want to eat that."
100%. Yeah, I remember, I think I talked about this too, but we were in this spot and we're in the Northern Territory, and we're in this, like, I guess it's like the tide went out and it's like mud, right? So it's like this mangroves, and we're like walking through it, and we start to sink like down to our knees.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. This don't like, what happens if a croc just starts coming towards us? We're not going to be able to you know what I mean? We're sinking into the mud. So we called that real quick. Like, nope. Because your mindset is, again, like in Florida with alligators, you're like, yeah, respect it. And they probably don't look at us as food. But they absolutely look at you as food. I saw this, we went on this, I saw this recently. We went on this walk. So they have this, like, think of like, I think Florida has them. Like, it's like a walk that goes through like the mangroves. So you can walk on this like metal, it's like a metal.
Yeah. Walkway. Like a boardwalk kind of deal.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it's got like the sides where it's got like the 3 metal ropes going along it. So they'll keep out whatever, and I guess when we went on it, the tide was out, but when I saw the video, the tide was in, and these people are walking along this thing, and it's like up to their waist in water.
No.
And like, I'm thinking, like, you think those 3 little ropes are gonna like keep the saltwater crocodile from getting you?
Oh
like,
my God.
No, that's crazy.
Oh God.
Yeah. I'll send it to you so you can see, like, holy shit. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And people just walk on it in like board shorts or swim shorts. Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. It was nuts.
That's like some Jurassic Park stuff right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I didn't realize it got that, like, I thought that when the tide came in, it would be up to like the bottom of the boardwalk. But no, this is like the water goes above the boardwalk. So like,
whoa.
You see like the top rope. That's it,
Oh my God. Yeah, no. Like if it was full bore, like chain link or something like that would be one thing.
But, 100%.
Yeah, but braided cable?
No.
Get out of here.
No. So
get out of here.
But yeah. Even like, when we were in Darwin too, like the place to look for the Darwin carpets is along that, there's a place called Cahill's Crossing. It's that famous thing where it floods and the cars like drive across and there's like crocs laying in the side or whatever. And that's like the perfect place to look for them because it's just like all these trees that have vines growing all over it. It's just the perfect carpet python habitats right by the water, and, but it's dodgy to look for them because right next to you is these saltwater crocs, it's like,
jeez.
Yeah. So you have to be careful with that. But.
Yeah, that scares me. A lot of people think that like you need to be afraid of stuff in Florida, but there's really nothing to be afraid of unless it's a croc, unless it's an alligator that has been habituated to human presence and associates humans with food.
Right.
That's the only time. And I've been around those alligators and it's bizarre.
Really?
Where like you walk up to the water's edge and the alligator comes towards you.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it's like somebody fed this, because normally I have them at my work, probably 7 to 8 foot animals that you can't get within 20 feet of them. They're terrified of you.
Right.
And so, like seeing one that like turns towards you and swims up to you is like, that's a little concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to eventually herp the Everglades to try to find a berm, but I watched that Python cowboy guy. And sometimes where he's at in the Everglades, I said, that looks terrible to be like, there's mosquitoes like everywhere. And oh man, I don't know. Have you been out like that to where you've been in that?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, but what's so we did mostly road cruising. We never found any pythons. We found python hunters everywhere.
Okay.
And I remember I went with Glenn McClellan.
Yep.
The Retech book dude.
Yep.
And we pulled up on these python hunters. They're like smoking stogies, and they got their spotlights and their LED bars and, jacked up trucks and everything.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, man, the other day we went out to such and such road. We saw a full-blown road stretcher, man. It was going from one side. Yeah, that's what he called a road stretcher. And he's like, yeah, that's where you boys should go check. And I'm like, if that's where we should go check because you think there's snakes there, why aren't you there right now?
Right.
You're a liar.
Right.
You're trying to send us away.
Right.
Like I hate being that way.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's like, I know exactly what you're doing. You're trying to send us somewhere that you know that there is nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably where you just came from.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get out of our spot and go here. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was very discouraging because there were so many python hunters and their trucks are jacked the hell up. Like you could probably walk directly under them without hitting your head. Where's Owen?
Yeah, right. Owen's smacking it for sure.
But yeah, like you could go direct. I mean, these things are huge and they have like aluminum rigs all welded together on the back so they can hold on, and like they have spotters in the back with spotlights and everything. I mean,
wow,
crazy setups built for this. Tens of thousands of dollars sunk into these rigs.
Wow, that's crazy.
And we're just in a rental Dodge Ram, and it's like, hey guys, with just regular headlights and a flashlight with AA batteries,
right.
And we're supposed to compete.
It's like your iPhone flashlights. What kind of sissy equipment is that?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very discouraging, unfortunately. They're everywhere out there.
Yeah. Except you can't find them, right?
No, I mean the python hunters are everywhere, not the pythons. Yeah, like that's the thing, and I don't know, man. I'm torn on the whole thing about, it's to me it's so hilarious for us to demonize animals as we destroy our landscape.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just slash and burn everything.
I know.
And then we take this one thing that has found a niche that it can, mesh into.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was Reptile Fight Club with Justin and Rob, and they were talking about I think it was them talking about the surveys done on mammal populations in the Everglades.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've heard this on numerous podcasts where they've talked about how the original surveys were done by like just dudes, like FWC guys, or park rangers.
Ah.
And it was just guys. These weren't scientists.
Right.
And they were literally like driving down roads and like, boom, raccoon, boom, rabbit, boom, and like, like that was the science that we're comparing it to.
Oh my God.
And now they have actual biologists, wildlife biologists going out and doing real surveys.
Right.
And they're
not
like,
as bad?
Well, no. So what they're saying is like, oh, there's been this, the mammals have decreased by 95%, but they're comparing it to a group of dudes that were competing with each other.
I get you. Yeah.
That weren't biologists. They were just like raccoon, rabbit. Oh man, I saw 27 raccoons tonight, some bitch.
Right.
And then we have scientists going out.
Right.
And we're comparing that data.
Yeah. I don't know.
And so then it's like, oh, like there's literally nothing left alive out here. Why? It's not because of the sugarcane fields.
Yeah,
It's not because of the highways. It's not because of us rerouting all these watersheds into ponds. It's none of that. It's because of this one snake.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's so many other animals. Like there's what is that crazy fish? The snakefish head or something like that?
Oh yeah, the snakehead.
Snakehead, that's it. You got cats, you got
peacock bass.
Yeah. You got what's the other one that they always talk about? The oh shit. I'm drawing a blank on. Oh, we just talked about the monitors. I heard that was you got those agamids. Those red-headed agamids.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere where my in-laws are at.
Yeah, they're on my house. They're everywhere in my neighborhood, everywhere.
But that's not causing. I'm not for like ruining an environment. But to your point, like when we were herping down there looking for the pine snake, I could not get over what they're doing to that. What do they call that? It's like sand hill type of environment. Like, it's like got that sand soil type of, it's exactly like what the Pine Barrens is like. It's the same type of environment. And like we're driving through it and there's just sections where it's just like completely just leveled. And you're just like, what? What?
Yeah.
Sad. Yeah. It's kind of bummed.
Yeah. I mean, talking to Nick about this, he was like, yeah, you guys had your whatever it is, the Everglades wood rat went extinct and they're blaming the pythons. But why were they on the verge of extinction to begin with?
Right.
Like that didn't just happen.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't like the python showed up. Now it's like,
Yeah. They weren't like booming populations and then the python comes in and now they're screwed. It was us destroying that environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's, you go through some of these areas where it's the sugarcane fields and it's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
It's a shame too, because the Everglades in particular is like a special environment in the US. Like that's like really the only spot like that, really, right? That's like that subtropic type of environment.
Oh yeah. It's nuts there. It's like a different world.
Yeah. And just plowing it down,
Yep. For highways and sugarcane and I mean they're talking about putting this this cruise line. They're like, I don't even know what you would call it, but they want to destroy this entire environment up in the St. Pete area. And to be able to make it so a cruise ship can come to port. They want to build a port.
Oh wow.
In this mangrove habitat.
Yeah, that's not going to affect anything.
Dude, it hurts my brain.
Yeah.
And me and my wife, we drive around and everybody's honking at each other. And it's like, this isn't Floridians. Like Floridians don't do that.
Right.
We don't honk at each other.
Yeah. You've had a lot of influx of people, right? Because of like other states doing taxes and gas and cost of living and all that stuff. So there,
COVID was the big one.
COVID. Yeah. That's
Don't make me put a mask on to get a vaccine.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to Florida. And then they got destroyed by hurricanes and they're like, I'm going to sell this place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's, we do have a population of, I think it's boa imperator here in Florida too. Yeah. There's a legit population in a place. We have rainbow boas too.
Right. Isn't there a spot where it's like chameleons are out there? Like the breeders would like put the chameleons in their backyard and then go collect them when they.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's Facebook groups devoted to that. It's crazy.
Wow.
People go out and get them.
It's so funny when you're in your own little world. Like I'm in my carpet python world. I don't know any of that stuff. And then you take a step out and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah. Florida is definitely a wild place for sure.
Yeah.
But hey, so talking about you, I got to ask you something about coastals, coastal carpets.
All right.
Is there a normal coastal carpet? Like, are there any, like, cause I feel anytime I hear anybody talk about coastals, it feels like it's a lot of morphs and everything. Like are there any like line bred, just like wild type coastals? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So I would say probably the one that's probably the most legit would be Brisbane locality ones.
Okay.
They've been crossed in, I think that's where the original Jag came from a Brisbane. The female was at least a Brisbane. So you have that. There used to be quite a few lines. There was a Sylvester line that was legit coastals. And something was wrong with that line. I don't know if it was inbreeding or whatever, but that line in particular would develop these heart issues where they would get an enlarged heart. I had them for a while, but everyone I had didn't make it. I think at one point, the only two that were left, I had a male, Nick had a female, and I was going to send Nick the male. And before I got a chance to do that, I had an enlarged heart and died. So it's probably, I guess, in a good way, best that maybe that line didn't didn't last. And then you have the Lemke. Lloyd Lemke had a line. It's probably best known for M. Penn, Michael Pinnell, because he kind of refined that. But I think that coastal guys got sucked up into the morph because a lot of the morphs in carpet pythons were coastal. So you had the jag as a coastal carpet, you had the tiger as a coastal carpet, you got the caramel as a coastal carpet, you got the hypo, the axanthic. What else? What am I forgetting? I think there's a couple others. But anyway, there's an albino that's in Australia. That's a coastal carpet. So a lot of those got mixed with a lot of morphs and stuff. But I would say probably the one that I think of when I think of coastal carpet is probably that M. Penn line. But like I hit up, so I had a trio of them. And I have is it a male? I have a male that's left. So I'm in search for a female. I found somebody that has a pair and are going to be producing them. And that, and I think I'm pretty tied into the carpet python world. And that's the only person I could find that has them. I got people that hit me up and asking me that same question because I had these, and they kind of got lost and they kind of got mixed in with caramels and stuff. I think the other thing with a wild coastal carpet is they're so variable. I would say that coastal carpets are probably the most variable of the group. I've seen so many wild like basically my Facebook feed is all carpet python location creatures. That's all is on there. So like when you're looking at it every day and you see all these different looks, and then you try to equate it from like the localities of where they're at. Specific localities have specific looks, and they're just so variable. But like I think banded, gray, black, brown type of color is probably what you're looking at as a coastal carpet. But some of them are like brick red. Some of them wild ones look hypo. I mean, I could send you so many pictures of wild carpets. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's like the Brettles, the Brettles that people herp up. You see them and it's like, that looks so much more vivid and lighter and more red than what we see in captivity.
So there's a train of thought with that maybe the ones that we got into captivity were a darker look, and the normal is like the hypo. The normal look of a wild one is like a hypo because, it could sometimes that is that way, right? Like with inlands, you have the two lines. You have the Mogg line, you have the Schofield line. The Mogg line seems to carry red. You get more of that gray blue type of color in what, at least with the ones that I've seen. The Schofield line is darker, like dark, and they wouldn't have that same type of look. So if you just bred the darker group, they're never going to look like the ones you see in the wild. Those inlands that you see that have like the red on the throughout it, and it's like blue, and you're just like, holy shit, that's beautiful. Why don't ours look like that?
Yeah.
So.
I want one of those.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that would be coastal carpets in my opinion. I'm trying to get to. So there's a couple other localities that are around, but I don't know if they would really be considered coastal carpets anymore. Like Rockhampton, it's kind of in coastal carpet territory, but I don't know. It's more variegata, I think, than McDowell.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've wondered about that. I'm like, what does a regular coastal look like? Because you see a lot of them, and there's usually some kind of, take your pick, any of the morphs that are mixed into it.
Yeah. And the morphs are cool, but like, to me, I guess I was heavy into the morph game with carpet pythons, and I produced crazy things, but like, I don't know. To me, I guess herping them, I get a better appreciation for the wild type. I think to me, I think a lot of times why people gravitated to more, well, at least for me, it's like if you're keeping them in racks, and it's on just paper, and you got like a basic setup, like there's nothing in the setup that pops except the snake, but then when you start to go into these more naturalistic setups, it looks weird to me to have a morph in that, like having an albino climbing. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't look right, because that's not what nature is. And in my mind, I'm trying to recreate that moment that I found a coastal carpet that I could go into my snake room and just look at it and see it. So it was like, oh, okay, now I have a different appreciation for the wild type. Rattlesnakes were a big thing for me with that, because, wherever you would go, whatever the rocks look like, that's what these little rock rattlesnakes would look like. In some areas they're pink, in some areas they're white, in some areas, and it's just like, holy shit. And you're like walking through the environment and you're like, oh, I totally get why this snake looks like the way it does. Cause it's going to disappear and you're not going to see it, and I don't know. I find that stuff fascinating, and it kind of like pushed me away from just thinking the morph. I'm not against morphs, but like I have a newfound appreciation for wild types of all species.
Yeah, I'm not against morphs, but for me personally, I'm more into the wild types.
Yeah.
Or a refined version of a wild type,
yes.
Right? Like my bloods, like from Kara.
Oh my God.
That's like 2 decades.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a morph, but it's 2 decades of refinement.
Yeah.
To where when I open the tub, my face melts, you're just like, oh my God.
My feeling is like what I'm trying to do with carpet pythons is trying to recreate those morphs into a wild type, if you would. Like, for instance, like the Nova Guinea carpets, they sort of resemble what a jag would look like, because their pattern is reduced. And I think with refinement, you could probably recreate a jag look without the neuro, and how cool would that be, and it'd be, obviously then it's not wild. I get it. You're refining it. You're selectively breeding it, but it's not like, a morph in the same way. I think that Keith had an influence on this when he did short tails, right? It wasn't like there was morphs in short tails, but he would see a look and he refined that and he selectively bred that. And, and then he gets, the, just all the crazy things that he had. I'm going to lose it off the top of my head, but I think of, like the is it granites?
Marbles.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
he
just
had
had them on.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, so it's fresh in my head.
There you go. Yeah.
The blues, the marbles.
Yeah. So he would like, refine that and like really dialed it in. And like his saying to me he's like, now that you've refined that, you're the only one that has that. They can't just take that and recreate that because you've selectively bred that to have a certain look. So I don't know. That's kind of where my mindset is. I think that's fun, funner, more fun to do.
Yeah, and it kind of quiets my brain, like, because I had gotten some morph animals when I first got back into it, and I was like, oh no, these are depreciating in value, and I'm like I was thinking that, like, oh, I spent $600 on this, and now it's worth $300, and when can I breed it, and like, and what are my odds going to be, and like that's gross, to think that about a living animal that I'm supposed to, like that, but you can't help but to think that.
Yeah, I was terrible at the morph game because, I'm not I don't grow my stuff up fast, so I would go and spend, I'd spend $5,000 on this new carpet python morph, and like everybody else is racing to get it to size. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that because that's going to be terrible for the longevity of the animal. And I don't care if I'm the first, but to your point, it would be like, wow, I just spent 5,000 and now they're worth 500. So like, like, what do I do now? Because I'm last to the race. So I don't know. I just didn't like that. I don't like that feeling, I guess, similar to what you're saying. It becomes about money. Like found my focus changed, and I was just like, how many things can I cram into this snake? Like, what if happens if I put this one and this one and this one and this one and this one? And then it's like, you have
a lot of things to deal with on the other end of that. You have, what are you going to do with the normal looking ones that don't carry that trait? Are you going to cull them? Are you going to sell them? Are you going to, put them out there into the world and then people misrepresent them later on? Not even intentionally. You think about the average person that's just coming into carpet pythons and they see a jungle carpet is yellow and black and a coastal carpet is not. And they're like, okay, well, mine's not yellow and black, so it must be a coastal carpet. And maybe it's a coastal Darwin jungle cross of some sort. And just like, I don't know. And then you have the group of Morelia people, which are, sometimes cannot be welcoming to new people. It's like, that's a cross, screaming. You're never going to know what your carpet python is like unless you know the breeders. And you're just like, oh, okay, yeah.
I feel like you're targeting Nick.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I think Nick is probably one of the ones that champion this the best, right? He's been doing this forever to where he's been, he does the morphs, but I think he does them in a way that he's still balancing that with keeping those lines pure to what we know, right?
Truly.
So he's not like, he's not making, I remember on the years of, because he mentored me for years and I would show him like, hey, Nick, check this out. I just hatched this granite caramel zebra jag thing, isn't this cool looking? And he's like, oh, I could be producing those, but I won't. I can't do it. I must stay strong because he has all the animals to do it. And it must be tough when like, that period of time when morphs were like, the crosses were hot and heavy. He had to stay his course and sort of, not have those crazy things and just sort of have a caramel jag or super caramel jag, but I think what he's done is he's refined those individual morphs that he's working with, similar to like Owen does with the caramels. Like we had a different approach to carpet pythons. And my thing was, I just wanted them all and I was going to breed them all. And where Owen was like, no, I'm going to stick with this gene and I'm going to refine it. Well, long-term, I think Owen was right and I was wrong, because he has more to show now than I do, because it was just like, oh yeah, I produced this. And then it becomes old hat. And I didn't like that about the morphs either. It's like when you get the new morph, you're like, oh my God, it's an albino carpet. I can't believe I have this. This is the coolest thing ever. And then like 3 years, you're like, I don't even care about, it's, I don't know. It becomes when the shininess wears off, are you still going to love it? So that's why I sort of like stick with just regular carpet pythons as much as I can. I do have morphs, but I'm not crossing those things anymore, I guess.
Yeah. That's kind of, for me, it's just easier. It's just easier mentally, because otherwise I just want more. I constantly want more. I want new. I want different.
I learned that about myself. It took me a long time to learn it, but I think one of the things that I struggled with is I was addicted to the chase, which is why I love that research phase, because it's the chase. It's the, oh shit. You go on Facebook and you see, I don't know. I see a retic and you're just like, oh my God, that retic is beautiful. And you start researching the retics and you're like, oh my God, look, this is cool. This is cool. Oh, look. And that phase, and it's like, you just want to acquire it and, the hunt. And then you want to find the breeder and you want to find the person that does it pure and, whatever you're looking for. And then you get it. And then a couple weeks that wears off and then you're in that chase again. So I was like, I can't keep doing this. I gotta stay strong. So I got to focus that into something else. Like right now I'm doing that with guitars. So I'm like rebuilding guitars. So I'm like buying all these parts, I'm like, oh, rebuilding this. I'm going to do this and learning how to do all these things. And it's great. And it sort of gives me that what's the word? Dopamine hit that I'm looking for. Without having it with living things. I do it with books too, as you can see, it's like, I never, there's some books on the shelf. I just like look through it and then it was just like, oh, I have it just to have it, it's like, oh, somebody said this was a cool book. Let me buy it, So, but yeah, that's kind of where I focus that now. Cause man, it got bad.
You know what? And everything you just described is everything I did with my indigos. It was so fun to research something brand new.
Yeah.
And then talk to John Michaels and talk to Kevin Butts. That's who I got my animals from, and like learn what they've, how they've gotten the look that they've gotten and where the animals come from, and they're Texas indigos. And this is my first North American snake. And, like I'm just like getting really into it. The cool thing is that I got them, and keeping them is so different and rewarding that the shine hasn't really worn off. And also it is a little bit more labor intensive. And also I learned a hard lesson that like I tried keeping them ambient and I thought it would be fine, but we had some cold nights and my female ended up regurging. And so I ended up, I had them both tested for crypto and, just to be safe. And now, then kind of working through that with Kevin Butts, like, and by the way, Kevin Butts is like the pinnacle of snake breeder for like just the most attentive, like, hey, Adam, I saw that that she was picked up from the hub. Is everything okay? And like, and then like
that's awesome.
Like a week later, just checking up, how's she doing? And it's like, this is crazy. Like you don't often get this. And then like once he knew that she had an issue, he's like, get her tested. Let me know the results. Like keep me informed. Like, wait this long and then feed her this food item and then wait this long. Like,
that's awesome.
There was no, well, you fucked up. You did this, which it's like kicking someone when they're down. Like if I have an issue and I go to the breeder and I'm like, hey, like, what do you think? What do you think about this? Here's my temperatures. Like I have temperature probes. Like, what do you think? And like run through the whole thing. It really sucks when it's, you fucked it up. It's a lot better when it's like, okay, here's what we need to do. Put them on heat. Give them a 78 hot spot. Right. Don't go above 80. Give them a 78 hot spot. I think it just got too cold and she was eating too much and it just came back up, and like just staying calm and super simple. God, I hope I can be half that. Yeah. When I start breeding and selling snakes. Sure. Because I know how easy it is to suddenly all that goes out the window because it's, well, I got 20 of these and I sold 20 of them. Yeah. And I don't have time for the 5 idiots that bought them.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So you've heard me say I don't like selling snakes probably on NPR. I say it quite a bit. And it's not that I don't like selling snakes to people because I don't like people or anything like that. Part of it is because it's like customer service all day at work and then having to come home and do that same thing is like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. But I know that I'm not going to have the time to do that. So I'm not going to do that because that's I want to, similar to that, I want to have that standard to where if I'm producing something and I'm sending it to you, because we preach this on NPR, buying from a breeder, you're getting that relationship with them that if you have trouble, you can rely on them to help you through some of those trouble spots, Mm-hmm. And if you don't have the ability to do that, I don't think that you should be selling snakes like that. So like for me, my outlet has always been like kind of going through Owen because Owen loves going to shows and Owen loves that, and it's not like he doesn't know me or know my collection or anything, you know what I mean? So it's like once I start breeding again, I just filter them to him and he can keep them and sell them and give me a kickback or whatever,
Yeah. If you get diamonds though, like hook your boy up, all right?
Oh yeah.
Grow my group.
Well, there's going to be definitely certain ones that I will set aside and be like,
don't give them all to Owen, right?
No. Yeah, like I guess to me that would be a little bit different because those people that I know, and like I know you, if you message me, I'm going to get back to you. If I don't get right back to you, you're not going to be like, oh, he's a dickhead, Like,
yeah. I only think out about Owen. No. You're the nice one, Eric. And I know Owen's going to hear this.
Yeah. He often, with Owen, when it comes to Owen, I find a lot of times that he's like that guy. He likes to go under the radar type of thing. He doesn't like to check out what I'm doing, and he does some amazing shit that I don't think he gets credit for, man. He's like, I'm seeing what he's doing and I'm like very I know his collection intimately, and he's doing some awesome shit, and he's just quiet about it.
Well, and you hear he'll talk about the stories he's had with customers where things didn't go perfect.
Right.
I mean, he talks about that on the show. Like,
sure.
it comes up all the time where it's, I got the animal back.
Yes.
And I did X, Y, and Z, or, whatever. Like he's talked about that numerous times. So it's, that like, what you're getting with him.
Yes.
Like people know what they're getting when they buy from him, is that they're going to get somebody that goes above and beyond.
Yeah. He absolutely, he does it right. And it's funny. He thinks about those things. Like I can just feel it. Like when we talk about like that side of the hobby on NPR, he just reacts differently. He's just like, oh, it's like, oh, this is my lane, You're the natural history guy. I'm the reptile business guy type of thing, So,
yeah, so I'm curious with that. Like it's, do people reach out to you to see what you have available because of the podcast? Like, and like, do you get messages where people are like, do you have any of these?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah. I found it's funny, right? I remember in the early days, we were talking about Gary Valle, about how he's like, you have to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody in order to contact him. I was like, that's what I want to be. I want to be that guy that nobody can contact unless you have like, his landline or something like that.
Yeah.
And over the years, the fact of sort of hoarding everything somehow gave the impression that it's more valuable, I suppose. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm keeping all these. I'm not giving none to nobody, and then, I give some to Owen or something. And it's like, then it would just flood in. That's why I don't talk about poison ivy that much. Cause as soon as I talk about it, I get all these messages about, when are some going to be available and how can I get on the list? And I was like, man, I didn't even figure this out yet. I'm still trying to figure it out.
What is poison ivy? Can you give me like a?
So she was a melanistic poplin carpet. Years ago, there was a guy. He was big into boas too. I think he sold his carpets and got into boas. I can't remember his name, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I bought this snake, and it was this basically a black poplin carpet. Had white around the labials and a white belly, but other than that, she was black. And I thought, wow, that's cool. Never thinking that I would recreate it or whatever. So I bought the snake and I bred her 1 year, and just to see what would happen. And I talked to Nick about it, and he said, breed her to a really light poplin carpet. I was like, okay. So that's what I did. I bred it to a GQ. They popped out. They were all normal. While I'm doing this, there's a guy, he's big into ball pythons now, but back in the MP days, he was big into carpets, and he had these 2 projects that he was working on. Specifically, it was melanistic jungles and melanistic poplin carpets. And he had this pair that he imported, and they were they were dark. I wouldn't say dark like poison ivy was, but he bred them together and out popped all normals. So he must have saw that I posted something up or something. And I think he remembered me from MP or whatever. And he contacted me and he said, hey, I'm curious, where did you get those from? Long story short, he had sold them all to Anthony Caponetto. And when Anthony Caponetto bought them, they were all normals. And then he just went out and sold them to various people. Well, the guy that I got it from Anthony Caponetto. So that's how I was able to track it down to wild stuff, because there was some thought that maybe something was mixed into it or something like that. And so I have this clutch of normals, and as they start to grow, they start to develop melanin. And now those 3 clutches that I have, I've kept all back, and all of them are black.
God. Whoa.
So is it an IMG gene like in boas? Is it selective breeding? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. And I think all of them except for one have been males. So again, is it sex related trait like a banana? Well, like that kind of thing. So this year I'm trying to do 2 pairings. One sibling, and one I got this dark IJ from Ish. I'm trying to breed one of those males to her to see what pops out. But in all of the clutches, every time they shed, they gain a little more melanin. They get, their head stamp gets a little darker, and then their head is completely black. And then, the bellies look the same. They sort of have like these markers that go down where these black stripes are going down somewhere. So yeah, that's that project. And I don't talk about it a lot because I don't know what's going on. And I know that I'm going to get that influx of like, put me on the list. When are you going to have available? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but
well, and you make it that much more appetizing that you're like, oh, all these people keep asking me about it. I got all these animals, but I'm not going to sell them.
And somebody's hoping, that they'll be the one that I'm like, okay, they'll catch me on the right day. Like, I don't know, electric bills due or something. I'm like, okay, I guess I got to get rid. But that's sort of like, and again, that's sort of affected my collection with the morphs and all that kind of stuff, because it's like, if I'm going to devote, what is that, 30 animals that you have to hold, that I've been holding back. And I'm sure it's not going to stop, it's not, but the only thing I do want to do is at some point put them in hands of certain people. I kind of have them picked out of who they would be sent to, so that if something happens here or something happens to me, that somebody can continue to do it. Cause I kind of think that, like obviously at some point I'm going to send some to Nick, because I know that he'll do it right and he'll keep it going. But I'm afraid because he might beat me like he did in the other ones. He'll be like, he has an army over there, and he'll be like, he'll just breed it to this. And then the next thing you know, he's like, I'm the melanistic Papuan guy now. So, but yeah, how cool is it to have a dark carpet, the black carpet python? To me is pretty badass.
That's wild.
So
yeah, I have an IMG boa, and it's like, he's a showstopper. Like, I'm not into morphs, but there's something about a completely black snake is.
That's to me, that's cool. The drive of the indigo, except for the face, obviously.
Yeah.
But like that black iridescence, wow. Striking.
Yeah. I got a red phase from John Michaels and a black phase.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, I kind of wanted to get like really different animals. So that way, because of the inbreeding and, not that these are inbred animals, but I just know that inbreeding is
an issue. Yeah.
Concern with indigos, so I'm just like, why not get two completely different animals? And if I ever reproduce them, maybe I'll get something in between, or a mix of this and that, I don't know.
Is it like green trees where you get red and yellow, you know what I mean? Like, is it something like that, and then slowly they grow out of it? Or
I have no idea.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I have no idea. I just know that Kevin has black ones, and I was like, I want black, and John Michaels has red ones, and I was like, I want red. And that was it.
Fair enough.
I didn't, so like it was pretty shallow. That's just kind of what I wanted, and then additionally, it's like I get to have the best of both worlds, in my opinion. And also I don't have to worry about inbreeding, because they're just radically different animals from different lines.
Yeah.
And,
I've been trying to do that with Australian stuff, so that like, I was talking to Lucas about Walma pythons. We just had him on, actually. That will come out probably way before this one does, but we had him on, and we were talking about that, and he has some unrelated stuff. And even though it's nothing special about it, like anytime there's unrelated something, I try to take advantage of that and get that into my collection, so that I don't keep breeding, line.
Yeah.
So
are you getting into Aspodites?
I've had them before. So I have Walma pythons. I've had them. I don't know. I've had them for 6 years, I think. I've just never.
Are you getting into blackheads?
So I had blackheads before, but Lucas, he convinced me. So I bought a jungle carpet from him. Again, it's a special thing and whatever. So I got on that, and
the price line.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
They're so cool.
Yeah. When he's talking to me and he's like, hey, when I send you this jungle, you want me to throw in a blackhead? And I was like, don't do this to me, dude. Am I going to say no? I mean, I don't know. My goal now, I used to have the goal of the Ryan Young in the Nick to try to breed every species of python, but I found that was too overwhelming. And me and Owen were just talking about this the other day. And I said, my goal is to breed all the Australian pythons that I can, that, we have available or whatever.
Sure.
And he's like, well, you're pretty close to that. I was like, dude, I'm nowhere close. So we started like talking about this. We're like, oh,
I heard that. Yeah.
We're not even close.
Yeah.
So,
you guys are listing everything off and it's like, yikes.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at. And keeping wise, I have a lot of them. I have, let's see, I have pygmy pythons. I have Western Stimsons. I have spotted pythons. Obviously all the carpets, womas. What else? I do have olives.
You have the kinghorn eye.
No, no. So like for that, to me, how I would tick that box in a way would be to breed the Southerns, right? At some point I'll get them. They are in Australia. Those, the Amethystina is there because there's the kinghorn eye and the Amethystinas. Like two, or I don't know if they're subspecies, but they're definitely two different types up in the Cape. Owen Pellies, I don't know. Maybe that'll be here one day. I heard that they're in the States somewhere. Who knows?
How?
Yeah. How? I don't know. How the rest of this stuff get here, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a mystery.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't talk about that. Yeah, I don't know. That's a shame too with that whole thing that Gavin had going. It was, oh man, that was a dream come true to go to his place, see his collection, to be able to hold those Owen Pelly adults and see them on a clutch and like see all the babies that he had. And like, oh my God, it was amazing. And it's like, he did this so that people wouldn't take them out of the wild because he's a biologist at heart. He's not a herper like us, but really a great guy. And, the really cool thing is that, he's working on releasing some of them back into the wild. He's going to come on NPR when it's ready to go or whatever. But the fact that he took them out of the wild, was able to figure them out, breed them, get them established in the hobby, he was trying to get them out to zoos around the world. But I think the zoos are based off of what people are going to look at. And like, to us, it's like, holy shit, that's an Owen Pelly python. But to everybody else, it's probably like, it looks like a big children's python or something, like who cares?
Maybe you could just export them as children eye.
Yeah. So then part of the deal that he had with the Aboriginal people was that he was going to re-release them back into the wild, and to get more back into the wild is pretty awesome. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
God, that makes me that's so wholesome.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah. So like, I love that guy to death. You know what I mean? Like, and the first time when we met him, the first trip we went, it was like, we met him for dinner and we sat down, and it was like, at first it was kind of like a little, like he was kind of hesitant about us, but the fact that we found an Owen Pelly like 2 days before, he was kind of like, okay, these guys are probably somewhat legit. And then we started talking, and then he's like best friends with Keith now. And like, it's the greatest. It's really cool. So.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like a really good dude, and anytime he's come on the podcast, it's always so good.
Yeah. So
it's always so good. I mean, that's definitely one that it's crazy that there's Australian keepers that have them, and it seems like they're I don't know, like how long have they even been in captivity over there?
Oh man, so they were bred by what was his name? Oh man, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name. Anyway, they were bred a while, but it's the guy that did the big python guy. Is it?
Dude, it's a podcast. Nobody can remember names.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, whoever you were.
Very prominent figure.
Yeah. I think he passed not too long ago. But
rest in peace.
Yeah, he it's going to bother me. So like, as I'm going through telling you this, I'm going to look it up on the side. But anyway, he bred them before. I think he was the first person to breed them in captivity. And then like a long while, time went by, and then Gavin acquired them. I want to say it was maybe 10 years ago, maybe something like that. Maybe more than that. But yeah, his idea is that he was going to take them out of the wild, establish them in captivity, because he didn't want people poaching them from the wild. You know, so
It's a
which
good
makes sense
idea.
to me. You know what I mean? Like to me, that I don't understand why Australia doesn't want to export, you know, captive bred animals. Like that doesn't make sense to me. It's almost like it's like, no, we're going to have our stuff and you can't, you know, type of deal. Not like the Australian reptile hobby, but like the people that are in the government, I guess, that are making the rules, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not why not do a quota and, I mean, just regulate the snot out of it, charge an arm and a leg, make your money off of it to put it towards research and conservation, and you'll get buyers.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Put it back into that, into the, absolutely into conservation. It's like, to me, that's a no brainer, you know?
I mean, I've said that about Burmese pythons in Florida. I don't think that we should not be able to keep them as pets. I think that maybe if you pay like a one-time $1,000 registration fee and you get it chipped with FWC and there's a serial number tied to your name.
Right.
Like, why not do something like that where you open that back up, you make money off of it, and you kind of make it so the barrier to entry is higher. And like, it's like, there's part of me that's like, nobody should be excluded from keeping an animal. But at the same time, some people should be excluded from keeping a Burmese python because they do require more care than a ball python. And it's hard enough getting people to take care of their goddamn ball pythons.
Yes.
You know? So it's like, I don't know.
Peter Krause.
Peter Krause.
Yes.
And did he pass away?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
All right. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Yeah. Peter Krause. I wanted to say Python Pete is in my head. And I'm like, no, Python Pete's the jungle guy in the US. That's like not the same guy. No.
But his name is Pete and he did do stuff with pythons.
Yes, he did. Especially jungles. And Owen Pellies. So yeah, he was the first one to breed them in captivity. But yeah, such a cool snake, man.
So, dude, how is your health? How are you?
Oh, so much better.
Dude, I was worried. Everybody was worried. And I didn't want to bother you. I was like, because you were so quiet.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was worried. I was hitting up Lucas. I'm like, are they okay? Is everything okay?
Yeah. 2025 was rough for me and Owen. And every time I would get through something, he would be going through something, and vice versa. And so that's why like a lot of shows didn't go. It's kind of, my health was shitty. I don't know. I don't know what, I guess it's just getting old. I lost, what did I lose? I think I was like 240 and now I'm 175. So I lost.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. And that's helped me a lot, you know, watching my diet. I have this thing with my gallbladder, and, what happens is, I guess when I eat certain things, dude, it takes me out. I can't do anything. It's like I can't keep anything down. Even water just comes right back up. And it was terrible. So like, you know, I had no energy. And then to do a podcast is just like, no way, can't happen. So, but yeah, much better now. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I'm happy to hear that. And I mean, it's. Dude, I know how hard it is because my wife was just in the hospital, and it's like when you're running at freaking 10,000 RPM, and you throw in something, on top of it, it's like I still have to do waters and I still have to record, but now I'm extraordinarily concerned about my wife and her well-being, and like, you know, she's like the backbone of our family. And now like everything that she does that I rely on her so much, I have to do now. And it's like, how am I going to get through this?
Yeah.
Like this isn't even remotely sustainable.
Yeah. That's basically what was happening. Yeah. It was, so I had the health thing.
my family went through like the last 2 years. It's been like one person dying after the other. First it was my mom, then it was my wife's mom, then it was her dad, then it was her brother. It was just like one after the other, and it was, oh my God, is this ever going to end? And then my nephew, he got brain cancer, and he had to go to Pittsburgh to get these treatments. So, trying to help my sister, make sure he's okay, and like to concentrate on trying to do a podcast is just like, my little nephew might be dead. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't give a shit about this right now. And then the health thing on top of it. And then to put the icing on the cake, my company sold the company, and then I had to start with a new company. So it was like relearning everything, and it's a lot more intense. And it's like my position is a lot more responsibility. Obviously, I'm making more money, but it's just completely different. So like going through all of those things at the same time was really rough. But I made it through. So here I am on the other side.
Yeah, dude, somehow you look like 10 years younger.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. It's the gym, man. I made the commitment. It's like, I'm getting older. I started watching these shows, and they were talking about like when you get old, getting out of a chair, you have to use all these muscles. And I was like, well, if my muscles aren't there, then I'm not going to be able to get out of a chair. I don't want to be one of these frail old people. I still want to hurt, Yeah. And so like
you're watching some depressing TV.
Yeah. It'd be like those health podcasts, because I was trying to figure out like what was going on with my health and trying to figure out how to be healthier and like, really watching my diet and, but obviously going to the gym is a huge thing, because that kind of helped outlet some of that stress, I don't know. I feel much better when I come out of the gym. Like,
Oh yeah, dude. It's so important. I do it 5 days a week. And if I don't have that, I start getting depressed and anxious more than usual. Like I'm depressed and anxious enough as it is, and so it's like if I don't have that, I'm a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. So I found that's a nice outlet to sort of to do it. So I'm up at 4 a.m. every morning, the gym, and then head to work. So
nice.
Yeah.
You're not going to get on like TRT, are you? And like get all jacked?
No.
Start shooting up testosterone?
No.
You'll have to rough Owen up.
Yeah. No. I just want to be able to keep herping until I'm like, 70 something, so keep myself in shape and
beyond. And beyond.
Yeah. 100%.
Because it's like 70 is not what it used to be.
No. Yeah, I'm 50. That was the other thing too. Is like there's something about guys when they get from like I think it's like 50 to 55 is like the heart attack window. So you have to be paying attention to that kind of stuff, and can't be eating cheeseburgers and all the time anymore.
Yeah,
but they're so.
That's
delicious.
wild that you got down to 175. Now, was that because you just couldn't keep anything down, or was that intentional?
Well, I was trying to lose weight to begin with, and obviously that didn't help. That did have an effect on it for sure. But even still, I wasn't trying to lose it because my weight has always been up and down my whole life. But when you lose it that way, it doesn't stay off. You have to lose it slowly, and then you have to change your way of doing things. It can't just be because as soon as you go back to your old way, it's like, oh, now I'm 175. I can eat pizza again. It's like, no. Maybe you can have a slice once in a while, but you can't have like 3 slices every time you have pizza or once a week or whatever. So, you can enjoy that, dude. When you're 20 and 30, but when you get my age, it's like that don't work anymore.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like my family has like IBS and colitis, Crohn's, and I've got my own set of issues, and I stay away from like gluten and everything like that. But on occasion, we'll get pizza, and when I get it, I'm like, I know tomorrow's gonna suck, so I'm gonna eat as much as I can until I'm just sitting here covered in grease and cheese and sauce. Yeah. And dude, I felt hungover the next day. I felt so insanely bad because I hardly ever eat that. It's like once a quarter we'll get pizza.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, I used to be 270 pounds. I used to be big boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to be a big boy.
Oh, wow.
I never would have pictured that.
Yeah, I destroyed all the pictures of that. Like
Good man.
Because I still have body dysmorphia where in my mind, that's what I look like.
Yeah, I can totally relate
I
to
walk.
that.
Yeah, I walk around thinking I'm big and everybody's making fun of me.
Yeah.
Without me being aware, because that happened to me when I was a kid.
Sure. Me too. Yep.
And like you go through that being made fun of and everything. Dude, like I got to the point where I just stopped eating. I was just like, well, I don't want to be made fun of anymore.
Right.
Especially by people that I like and I want to be friends with.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to be the punchline of a joke anymore.
Right.
And I just starved myself down to 165 pounds.
Wow. Holy shit. Yeah. I think for me, it was like, you just, when you were saying about eating a pizza and then feeling like shit the next day, what happened with me, and I think why I lose the weight, is that I would eat something and I would feel terrible the next day, and so terrible that I don't want to experience that ever again. So I would stop eating that. And then slowly over time, my diet just became super clean. And, because I don't want to feel like that the next day. That's why I don't drink alcohol anymore. Like I got to the point where it's like I would drink and I would feel so shitty the next day. And the older I got, the worse it got. So it's like, I don't want to do, why? I don't need this to function and to be, funnier or anything like that. So why do it,
Yeah. If anything, it ruins that. It makes you less sharp.
It makes me an asshole,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I stopped that. And that's probably healthy. I don't think alcohol drinking
it's poison.
Healthy for you. Yeah, it's poison. Yeah.
Yeah, it's poison. It's absolutely poison. I mean, I haven't drank this year yet. I quit last year, I think in like December at some time, or maybe November was the last time I had a drink. And I'm just like, I think I'm going to try not drinking in 2026.
Yeah. I had so far this year, I've had one drink on my dad's birthday. That was it. Sometimes on herp trips, I'll drink a beer at the end. And like, I think that's something that Rob loves to do, is sort of like recap the night or whatever, and hang and have a beer. And like, I'll do that because the beer is not going to be the worst, but like, it's very rare anymore that I don't know. I don't like the taste. I'd rather have, like, why do I have to be drinking a beer to sit around and talk about this? I can be drinking water and it's no different. It's not going to make the situation any better. But sometimes I feel like it's a bonding, like with my dad, it's like, okay, Dad, I'll have a beer with you. He's like, oh, you're going to have a beer with me? It's my birthday. Yeah, I guess so. That kind of thing. Sure, Dad.
You know what's really good if you like the taste of beer, but you don't want the alcohol, is I think it's Athletic is the name of the brand.
Oh, really?
And they have an IPA and it's phenomenal.
Oh, okay. That's
it's good to know. Really good. Like you taste it and you're just, this is a really hoppy, flavorful, full body beer, and it's like 100 something calories and 0 alcohol.
Wow.
So you can still have that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that where it's like, I'm getting just as much, except I'm not going to feel like shit in 6 hours.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what it's like when they wake up from Carpet Fest in my house on my lawn, and they're just like all feeling like, oh, man. And I'm like, what's up, guys? Who wants breakfast? Yeah.
Hey, is Carpet Fest going to be coming back?
Yeah, we are. We're trying to figure it out. I think it's just finding a spot is really what it comes down to. I think my house, we've definitely outgrown Owen's house. I think we've outgrown my house. So I don't know. I know it makes me, I'm sure you've heard me talk about the stories of the mite thing that happened to me from Carpet Fest. And
dude, who brought mites to your house?
I don't know. It wasn't like,
do you think that was
person.
Do you think it was done intentionally?
No.
Okay.
I think it's one of those things, right? People went to Hamburg. They walked around the show. There's mites all over the place at Hamburg. It's on somebody's shoe. Who knows? It might be on their jacket, whatever. The bag that they have, and then they come in and, next thing you know. I think that's why when you were talking to Dr. Tillis, he has like he's like shoot you down like you're walking into a chemical, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have
there were certain places we couldn't go on the tour because
Right.
And he's like spraying his arms down, getting all soaked in like what's it called? What's that? F1? No.
F10?
F10. Yeah, F10.
Yeah.
He's spraying himself down with that and everything. And yeah.
So, but yeah, we definitely want to have Carpet Fest. It's, like me and Owen are always like bummed that it's like we started the Carpet Fest and like other people are doing the Carpet Fest and we're not doing the Carpet Fest, But it is it's much better to go to a Carpet Fest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than to
you guys went to Texas.
Yes. Yeah. That was amazing.
I want to do that so bad. I'm so bummed I didn't do it. This year, I keep telling myself I'm going to do more stuff this year. I want to do Colubrid Fest.
We're going to that for sure.
Are you guys going to that?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I hope I see you there. Do you ever do Daytona?
We're going to Daytona this year too. Yeah.
I'm going to see you at Daytona.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm going to hug the shit out of you guys.
Yeah.
Well, at least you. I'm afraid of Owen. He might hurt me. I don't know.
Yeah, that man Wookie might bite you. Or
pull my arms out of my sockets.
Yeah, we made it a point this year to try to be more in the community, I guess, like we used to. So
yeah,
I don't want to necessarily vend shows, but like to me, Daytona is like that. I can go visit my in-laws for the rest of the week, go to Daytona, do some herping while we're down there, stuff like that. So,
oh man, yeah. I think I'll probably the drive isn't so bad that I can't just drive up there and then drive home at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that a lot of the fun happens after the show.
Yeah.
So there's part of me that's like, I should probably just get a hotel room and just stay up there for a night, and then drive home the next day. Keith might have a table at Daytona this year.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I was like, what are you going to have? And he like ran through the whole list and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. So yeah, like I got to meet him last year at Daytona and, yeah, it was like so much fun. I'm like, I need to do more stuff like this. I need to see more people.
I love that guy. I just love talking to that guy. I don't know what it is. We're like long lost souls or something like that we were like herper bros in some past life or something. But I don't know. I think too, he was on the Owen Pelly trip and like that sort of like that was a special moment, and I remember that trip is probably the best trip that I've ever been on. Just there was we were all in the same mindset. It was just a great trip. It was really, really a great trip. Yeah. So
that's so awesome. Yeah, but that bond is that can never be broken now.
Yeah. So he's like family to me. It's like I would do anything for that guy. So. Really good.
I hope I didn't freak him out. I mean, because I don't think he realizes how important he is.
That's why he's so awesome.
Like I think, like I told him, I'm like, like there's a lot of people that really appreciate you. And like, I never skip a Facebook post from him.
No,
I'm like, I click the read more button.
Yep.
And I read. And because it's like it's like passive mentorship that he probably doesn't even realize that he just has a thought and he types out this big thing and then puts it up and he probably doesn't realize how much it's touching people. And, like he did that whole post on husbandry and being a keeper and having your priorities straight and what the hobby used to be and how you just wanted to keep the animal alive. And the goal was not to breed the animal.
Right.
The goal was to do right by the animal.
Right.
And like reading that, it was like, it really resonated with me, but he probably has no idea how much it did that I was like, oh, so like, I'm not a lesser person because I'm not like just obsessed with like, I need to breed these animals as soon as possible, egg bound or not, fuck it. Like it's, I'm taking my time. Like, is breeding going to be part of what I'm doing? Absolutely. But it's not my primary goal. My goal is that I love these snakes and I love having them in my house and observing them and seeing their behavior and everything.
Yeah, I think, so it's funny. We were talking about this on Trap Talk the other day, but like one of the things that, and I get this message a lot, that like they appreciate the fact that I talk about the fact that I don't breed, and you don't have to be a breeder to be somebody in the hobby. It's just like I get it. It's like the next step, you know. I understand it. It's like you've kept, now you're going to try to breed. But like, I think it's a little bit irresponsible to say that everyone has to breed if you don't want to. And like, why are you creating competition for yourself if you don't have, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. Like, it's no problem if you want to. And I think people should, obviously, or the hobby would go away. But like, just because you don't have that experience doesn't make you less of a keeper in my mind, you know?
I wish more people would talk that way.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like, it reminds me of like when you were a teenager and it's like, you're a virgin.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Right. Loser.
No, I've been with tons of girls and stuff. I've bred the other
ball
night.
pythons, man. Stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think, and especially I kind of kicked on to that, and tried to use our platform to sort of show, you know, and me and Owen get along fine, and he breeds everything, you know what I mean? And that's I like that dynamic where you're seeing two sides, and I think that's like what I love best about me and Owen. It's like when I go left, he goes right. When he goes right, I go left, but somehow we're on the same page. So like in the early days, I was the one with the big collection and breed everything and morphs and projects and this and that and all this stuff and all these species. And now we flipped, and he's that guy, you know? I think it's like, I equate it to herping has an effect on that, because it's sort of like this progression. You're a keeper and you've done that. Then you maybe dabble your toe into breeding, and you've done that. And then you start to herp, and then you're like, oh, this is the next level of it. And I didn't think I would be there. And Nipper used to tell me all the time, he's like, mate, in 5 years, your collection will be 20 snakes. And you know, and I'm like, never, I never do it. And then, yeah, sure enough, he was right. No, it's not 20 snakes, but significantly less.
Yeah. It's, I think that, that was what Rob Stone really drove home when I had him on.
Yes. Yeah.
Keeping less better. In that.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, I really, you know, the whole rack debate still rages on, and
sure,
you know, I think that it can be done right. And I think that racks and tubs have their purpose. I think that honestly, like a lot of new keepers would be very well served to have like a 2-rack bin, you know, for a brand new snake, and have a clean backup tub, and it's smaller, more secure. Like, I think that should be normalized. I think it should be marketed more towards new keepers as like, hey, this is what you should keep a brand new baby snake in. The same way, like Nick Mutton said, the same way you keep a newborn baby in a bassinet, and then they go to a crib, and you know, like it should be, I think that should be normalized more. But at the same time, like, I think it's great when there's guys such as yourself and Rob that have kept in tons of racks and tubs, and then making that slow progression towards, I want to keep better, or I want to keep differently.
Yes. Yeah.
And just because I did this thing doesn't mean I have to do this thing for the rest of my life now.
Yes.
You know, and your priorities can change. You can change your priorities.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the struggle, me and Rob, Keith, Owen, Justin, we've all talked about this on our herping trips. It's like, you know, you have this little thought in the back of your mind. It's like, oh, am I doing these snakes justice? Like, you see them in the wild and they're doing, and they're like, should I even be doing this? And you don't want to say that out loud, because if you say that out loud, then people are going to be like, oh, you're against the hobby or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not against the hobby, but what I'm for is like, okay, we went this route, you know, like in the 80s, we kept this way, and then it progressed. And in the 90s, we kept the way, and then it progressed, and, you know, and it keep getting better. And I think when we hit the 2000s and the ball python stuff and the morphs, and like, you know, when the hot, I think it had its place because it really kicked the hobby up a notch. But we sort of stayed stagnant in that, oh, this works. I used to always argue with Owen about this. I was like, Owen, you're the guy that says like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I'm in the mindset of it's all broke and we're trying to figure it out. And we kind of know some stuff. There's a lot of shit we don't understand. Like, like the idea that, oh, it's got a respiratory infection. Okay, why? What's going on? I don't know. It probably just got too cold in the room. No, that's not the reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like trying to figure out like a little more of what's going on. And I think that herping has that effect on you. And, it's like, okay, I still want to keep snakes because I enjoy it. But what do I enjoy about the snakes? I enjoy sort of like what you said, watching them, observing them, seeing what they're doing. Like, where are they at in the cage? What are they utilizing of what I'm giving them? And what are they not utilizing of what can I tweak this more? Does this perch need, whatever. And I just find it fascinating. It's kind of like herping in your room, right? And if you have a room where you can escape to and be able to sort of chill out in or whatever, it's like the escape, if you will. And when it was in racks, it was like, you can't see anything. You're going into the room and, you're looking at it. And I think I said this on MJ's podcast, was like, but when I was coming up and getting back into the hobby, you'd go and watch a snake bites video with Brian Barczyk, and like, you saw these racks and you're like, okay, this is how the pros do it. So I guess this is what I have to do, and slowly over time, I think the hobby has shifted towards trying to keep better. And I think the new people that are coming in, where you have that debate, they're so far on the other side of it to where if you keep a rack, you're evil, but the zoos keeping racks, you know what I mean? Like if they have an animal come in, or if they're trying to watch it for some reason or whatever, they'll put it in a rack because you're going to be able to observe things that you need to observe probably a little easier, So.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like, if you're just a regular everyday keeper, is efficiency your number one priority? No. To where you need to have everything in racks and have it as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't, and like you said, it's extremism. You can get it going in both directions,
right?
And then it's like somewhere in the middle is probably where we all need to try to come together and learn from each other.
Isn't that with everything now? Though, like it seems like everything is extremes, and most people are in the middle, and like everything is that way. It's like, I'm in this camp, you're a piece of shit. I'm in this camp, you're a piece of shit. It's like, maybe you're both a little right.
Yeah, and you look at it, especially online, and it's like, boy, the world must be a really dark place out there, and then you go to the store and everybody's, polite to each other. And,
hey, Mr. Burke, how you doing today? Like,
so we're not dying out here.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is. So what? So you're doing Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do Colubrid Fest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What else are you guys doing? What about herping? Are you doing any big herp trips this year?
Yeah, we got WA, Western Australia, in October. We're going. So hopefully I can find my imbricata. That would be fucking fabulous. Sorry. And where else are we going? We're going to like Louisiana area to try to find the Louisiana pine snake, to tick that one
nice.
off. That's a huge feat in itself, because they're almost extirpated out of the area. So supposedly, so we'll see. I'm trying to, I think California, we're supposed to go out and see Lucas for a couple days. I'm thinking April. Got to get that. And then,
are you guys going there to like learn from him, like how to breed animals and stuff? Is he giving you a class?
He's going to teach us. Now, the student has become the master. Everybody jokes about that, but like I saw Lucas as I don't know. I saw him and there was something about him. I was like, he's got something there. I like this kid. Let's get him out into the public somehow. And then, he came with Carpets and Coffee, and, now he's a great guy. I love that kid. And
he is,
and it's funny. It's like he's become he's breeding all these species on his first try. We're like, what the hell, man?
It's insane. It's insane.
And I feel like a loser as Owen and we have this little group chat that we're all in. It's me, Owen, and Lucas. And Lucas is like, look what I bred. And then Owen's like, look what I bred. And I'm like, I didn't breed anything this year. Real cool, guys. So
it's crazy too, because like he runs through the list and you're like, how does somebody pull off that diverse of a list? Because you hear people say like, oh, you should be kind of focused in on something.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get things, but he's just doing it.
I think it's just
no
like
problem.
I can't understand it. And what I've come to the realization is that their brains just work differently. Because like to me, I want to know that my room is stable and it's 80 degrees and like, but like with him, they're thinking about like, oh, this snake has to be a little bit cooler. So we're here in Australia, right? That's what I'm trying to recreate. Yeah. And they got like Australia and Vietnam and, North America. And it's like all over the place.
Yeah.
Madagascar, So.
I know. And then you ask him and he's like, it's all vibes. Like he's just going off a vibe. And it's like,
that doesn't make for good content, dude. Give me more.
He's like, I'm just vibing with these animals, man.
Okay. How do I vibe? Yeah. I think he just pays attention, right? He's the student of the serpent. I think that's what it comes down to. If you pay attention, you'll start to pick up on those cues. The more and more you do it, the more and more you see it. And then, it just becomes like second nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I hope we need to get him to come over to this coast for a show or something. I want to see him in person.
Yeah. We're working on that. So hopefully he's going to meet up with us in Australia. So on that trip. So that would be cool. But I don't know. Maybe we'll get him out to a carpet fest or something like that. Make it happen like that.
Yeah,
or get him to go to Daytona. Maybe we can convince him.
Yeah, that would be cool. We could all chip in and buy his ticket.
Yeah. He just has to sell a couple blackheads, man. He can.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. Yeah, he's doing fine.
he's got what? Diamonds, blackheads.
Yeah. Indigos, Eastern indigos. Right. Yeah, all the high dollar stuff.
Yeah, exactly. He's not stupid.
Yeah, chondros.
Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too. Oh man.
Jeez Louise. He should be paying for our tickets.
Exactly. Wait a minute.
Yeah. It's so cool seeing people in person. I mean, going to Daytona, I walked up, I saw Kush and I'm just like walking alongside him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, I wish there was more reptile podcasters here, and he's like, and then we're hugging and everything. And it's like, it's just so cool to be able to see people in person.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to see Lucas.
Yeah, we will at some point.
You know what I forgot to tell you too about my diamonds? And I don't know, maybe we talked about this privately. I don't know, but they, towards the end, like at the end of winter, when it was its very worst and darkest.
Okay.
They disappeared.
Okay.
They didn't come out anymore. They were done.
Okay.
And I asked Nick, I'm like, do diamond pythons brumate? And he was like, oh, we use brumate and hibernate, and he had another word, estivate, something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But he was like, we use all these terms kind of loosely, and he's like, do they brumate? Maybe, kind of. And I told him, I'm like, they're in the beginning in the cold, they would come out during the day to try to get as much sun as they could and try to get some of that heat. Mm-hmm. And then towards the end, they were just done with it. Like they just didn't come out anymore.
Was the sun not? That's something I'm curious. I maybe could ask you this. It's like when it's a overcast day, do they still come out?
Not towards the end. I mean, in the beginning, yes. Like they
So even
up
if it
in the
was
trees.
overcast at the beginning, they would still be out. Okay.
Yeah, even we have like cold, rainy days, and when I say cold, that's Florida cold. So
I know.
We're talking
Yeah.
we're talking 60s,
Right.
But it'd be a cool, rainy day, and they'd be up in the branches, and it's like y'all are crazy, like just sitting there in the rain. They love sitting out in the rain too.
Maybe they're taking that time. Maybe is it both of them, like the female and the male?
All three of them.
All three of them. Okay.
Yeah, I have 2 females and a male, and all 3 of them all disappeared. To where I was checking on them to make sure everybody was good, because it was like, all right, I haven't seen anybody in 3 days.
Do you have like a camera on them or anything at night?
I don't.
Oh, because I would be curious. You know how like they'll switch. They'll go from being nocturnal to being more diurnal. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
So I was checking on them before I would go to bed, and they were not coming out at their normal times at night. Like it was just hunkered down in their hide. End of story.
That's interesting.
And it was only the last probably 4 weeks, I would say. And then all of a sudden, guess what? It warmed up. Temperatures came up to the mid 80s during the day. We're going into the mid 60s at night. And last night they were out, and I'm like, you guys are going back on food. It's go time. Maybe
somehow I know this is probably going to be giving them a little more credit, but maybe somehow they can evaluate risk versus reward type of thing. And maybe they're getting that ambient temp that they need inside that nest box because all 3 of them are in there. So like it raises the temperature in the box.
So the females are separate. I have the females so the 2 females were cohabbed most of the winter. They're now separated because they're feeding again. So like they're in their own cage, and then the male is in the big cage outside where the females eventually will go to. I didn't want any shenanigans because he's like 4 or 5, I think.
Okay.
And they're just wee babies.
See, this is the stuff I love. Like, why does it do that? What is going on?
I know.
Yeah, this is the stuff I love, and
that, and I wish I could remember who, but somebody was like, nobody's really done what you're doing, like putting a young python outside. Like people keep their stuff outside, but like you got through that first year, reared them inside, and then it was okay, y'all are going out.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm just, and that's why I'm talking to Nick about it and talking to you about it. But the whole thing of like resources, you got to figure out at a certain point, they're like, okay, it's just not, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. It's not worth
risk versus the reward thing.
Yeah. And like, and Nick and I were talking about and this wasn't on a podcast, but dry bites. Like, why do dry bites happen? And
you mean
like with a venomous snake? Yeah. Like,
okay.
Like, why does that happen? And Nick was like, it's probably conserving resources because producing venom is very costly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's requiring thought.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Like you have to actually sit there and think like, okay, do I dry bite this or do I bite it with venom? Like that's actually in the moment.
Yeah.
Like decision tree.
Right. And why, what makes that decision happen one way or the other? Like, why do they decide? Like, is it because they see a human being and they know that they can't eat that thing? Do they dry bite that because they don't want to waste the venom? If a mouse goes running by and they say they weren't in hunting or whatever and it just happens upon it and they just take advantage of it, is that what they're holding on? I don't know.
Yeah. And is it cognition?
Yeah.
Or is it just evolution that the animals that dry bite, larger animals are the ones that survive longer because they require less calories or,
yeah. It's that cosmic octopus, man. Gets you every time, but yeah, that's a great thing. It's, I don't know if you heard me talking about that diamond python study or not study, but it was like a little paper, but like the fact that they relocated the mom off the eggs quite a distance. And she went back to them, not once, but twice. She found those eggs back again. And then she defended the nest as they were hatching, which.
What the hell?
I mean, wow, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's why I love that book, The Secret Lives of Reptiles. It's like it dives into those kind of things and talks about how reptiles are probably, there's a little more going on upstairs than people think,
Okay, so then that's where, if there is more going on upstairs and there's cognition and thought and defending their young and resource conservation, right? And all these things. And then you look at a ball python in a barren tub.
Right.
And it's like, is that right?
Right. And this is
humane?
This is sort of what I was saying about when you're herping, you're sort of seeing these animals in their environment and like, you're like, oh man, maybe I'm not doing that right. Like for a long time, I talked about how carpet pythons don't perch. And like, I would say, they don't perch. I give them the shelf. They don't use the shelf, blah, 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 whatever the things would be. They don't take advantage of it. So that means that they don't do it. Right. And then when I went to the wild and I'm looking at where they are perching, I'm like, oh, well, I'm just doing it wrong. Like they like to perch where many coils, kind of like a boa type, like a tree boa or something, where they have they're anchored on many points of it's not just like a chondro where they're draped over the the perch. And then I found that they perch more. So I don't know, but yeah, that's the fun stuff. Like seeing something, saying, oh, I wonder if we could do this better, and as soon as you start doing it better, then all of a sudden, like my diamond pythons never come off their perch.
Oh yeah.
Never, I very rarely see them off of that,
Yeah, that's how all my jungles are.
Right?
Most of my cages are laid out similar to this one here. This is a 4x2x2, but my wall of Australia, which is spotted pythons and jungles, those the jungle cages are 30 inches tall, and they're always up in their branches, like all the time. And they're like the perfect snake because they're out in the house where it's a little bit cooler. This room's a little warmer. And so people walk up to that wall and there is no, where is it? I don't see it.
Right.
It's like,
it's right there.
Snake. They're all laying out on the branch.
Yeah.
But they're always on the branch. And like with the shelf thing, it's like, how many shelves are there up in trees? Like,
right.
Do they recognize a PVC shelf and go like, oh, this is the thing I can hang out on.
Right. Yeah. And some people said they swore that they did use the shelf, and like Owen has his set up in a way that like he uses those black with the tubs with the yellow tops as his boxes for them, and he finds that they all go up on that box because he doesn't necessarily have like in certain cages he doesn't have perching or whatever. But I don't know. It's again like I was wrong because of the information that I had, and I didn't think outside of that box and say, maybe I'm the one that's doing it wrong. Like I'm not providing them the correct perching that they need. So I just go right to, oh, well, they don't perch. So, which is not true. I think that's with humidity. I don't know. Humidity. I know this is like a topic in the carpet python world where somebody will say like they need humidity. I don't know if they need it, but do they benefit from it? Because I know where every place that I was, where they were, it was humid as hell, So that's their environment. Does it matter? I don't know. But I know for me, in the wintertime, when we have dry heat just pummeling me, I get respiratory infections and, my throat hurts and I'm not comfortable, and is that happening with them? I don't know. I don't know, So I do provide humidity in my room. I don't know if it matters or not. I think it's sort of like the UV thing. Does that matter? Does it not? Maybe it does with certain species. I don't know, but
there's so much we don't know.
Right. Yeah. As soon as you start to think you know everything, you realize you don't know shit. That's what it comes down to.
Hey, so we'll wrap this up. I don't want to take up your entire Sunday, but can you? I wonder if you remember the story the same way Matt does. So the last time I recorded with Matt Minatola, he told me the story of how you guys met. And I'm like, dude, this is such a great story. And we should have been recording. And he's like, and do you remember the story?
How me and Matt met. So I don't know exactly how we met, but
do you want me to tell you?
Remind me.
I'll refresh your memory a little bit. He said he had recorded a podcast, and I think something went wrong, and he had to re-record it. And he said it felt really unnatural and super scripted. And I'm like, yeah, we've all been through that. But he said that you happened to listen to that podcast.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There was, oh man, what was the name of that podcast? Her Purpure or something like that?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was Her Purpure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was listening to it, and he's in Philly, and like, it's a funny thing with Matt. Like, he lived down the block from my sister at one point. And he also his ex-wife was real good friends with somebody that I worked with. So it was like we knew, same people there. And I was like, why aren't we talking to this guy? I want to learn about short tails. So I hit him up and brought him on NPR. But I love Matt too. He's a great guy. Great guy.
He is. He's such a good dude. Yeah. I just thought that story was so funny. Her Purpure.
Yeah. He was he was the lone wolf, because at the time there was like 4 reptile podcasts, and we all had co-hosts, but he was like, I'm going to be the lone wolf and do it myself. Right on, man.
And didn't Matt say that his episodes were like only 30 minutes long or something like that?
Yeah,
like people would go on strike if you tried doing that.
I know.
Yeah. They'd be like, that's only one trip to work. I need to be able to get back home.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to look for another episode?
It's so funny how like, I think it's similar to what you were saying about Keith earlier. It's like, you don't realize the impact you have until, I don't think about, the impact that NPR has or whatever, but I'm told about it all the time. But it's not like, I'm just like, it's just me, and talking snakes, I don't know. But yeah, it affects other people. They look forward to it,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can imagine how many people were worried about you.
No, I can't. I know.
And what's really weird too is when somebody messages you while they're listening to an episode, and it's like, and like you have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
Oh my God, that happens to me all the time.
And they're like, dude, I totally get it. My humidity is at 48% too. And the same thing happened to me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about?
I thought I was the only one that got those messages. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go back and listen to this episode before I answer this message or whatever. I don't know what I said.
And meanwhile, like for me, it's something I said like 6 weeks prior, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Dude? Like,
that's why when I messaged you and MJ about it was so refreshing to hear somebody talk about podcasting that I could relate to. You know what I mean? It's like there hasn't been very many people like, and he just comes along for the ride, which is fine, and that's but like. He doesn't edit. He doesn't get the guest. He doesn't write the show. Come up with the ideas and anything like that.
What a lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah,
he's just riding your coattails. All the way to the top.
Yeah. He just brings the comic relief, But yeah, to hear you guys talking about just that, this is an example of like, oh yeah, I go through that. So I was listening to when you guys were on, and I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah, man, that's bullshit. Or I'm fired up. Like, yeah, I had that happen to me too. I thought I was the only one.
And then meanwhile, you're the one hitting up MJ and I, and we're like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah, he's like, okay. Yeah.
No, that was awesome. I called MJ that day, or I can't remember if he called me, and I'm like, dude, Eric hit us up this morning and said that we're doing a good job. I'm like, do you understand? And he's like, I know, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, I love what you guys are doing, man. It's great. It's finally something that I can listen to, that I can listen to like
I would hope people will listen to MP. You know, it's like there's some podcasts I'll listen to an episode and then another episode will come and it's like, I'm not really into lizards, so I'm not going to listen to that or whatever, you know. But you and him specifically, it's like, oh yeah, I'm always getting something out of it, even if you're talking about something that doesn't involve what I keep or anything. There's always something I can pull from it, which is to me that's the goal. You know, you want to talk in a way that you're talking about a species, but you're also giving people ideas that are outside of that species. Because like in the early days of NPR, most people didn't keep carpet pythons. They were like, I don't even keep carpets, but I love your show. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand why. You know, like.
Well, that was like they've kind of dropped off with their production, but the Retic Lounge, I really enjoyed that podcast. Sure. Even though I can't even legally keep a Retic.
Right. Yeah.
It was just a lot of good information, good guests, husbandry techniques, things like that, to where it's like, oh, this is really useful information, you know? So it was Retic Lounge, you know, Trap Talk, you guys, obviously, you know, and like those were like my one. And, you know, when I say you guys, I mean the whole NPR thing. Right. So, you know, the
Fight Club and
Fight Club and
CCR, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and where you're constantly, and the cool thing is how different they all are.
Yeah. 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 I think the thing that I take away from you guys in particular is that I've always been more of not scripted in a way, but having an idea to where I'm going. And maybe it's just because I know that the show feels like kind of scripted to me. But with you guys, it's just like you ask a question and then somehow you can pivot off of that in real time, talking about the same thing. Like to me, I would always be worried about, like, if we're talking about breeding and then all of a sudden something comes up and it takes you back to keeping or herping or some, you know, something else. It's like you guys pivot real well in a way that it's refreshing to me in a way, I guess, because it's like you're having a real conversation and not scripted out or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like you're actually paying attention. I think that's what it is. It's like you guys are actually paying attention to what the guest is saying, taking it in, and then coming back with a question relating to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Sorry, I was zoned out listening to you. But yeah, I totally, I didn't mean to just go, yeah, that's right. That's right, motherfucker. That's what I do. No. But no, like I've never thought about it that way, but it is, I think that's so important for people that are listening to it, is that regular conversation is so tangential, where it's just, it goes all over the place.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is kind of how our brains are wired to work. And like, if you did stick with a script where you say like, how do you feel about UVB? And then you're like, well, when I used to keep, you know, Burmese pythons and blah, 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 and this and that. And then it's like, okay, so you do like UVB, you know, like according, you know, like you're just trying to stay on topic. And I've actually listened to podcasts where people are like, okay, trying to get you back onto the original question. It's like, no, let him go.
Yes. That's the
because
idea.
What he's saying is way more interesting than the question you actually asked. But it led him to this, which nobody anticipated.
Right. Yeah.
But what's funny is like, do you think that your show is scripted?
No, I think it's because I like to. So what I've been doing is like, I still have an outline of like what I want to talk about. Like a topic.
Oh yeah, I know. It blew me away. I couldn't believe that was a thing. When you sent me that, I'm like, first of all, you put so much effort into this.
Yeah.
Now I feel ashamed. And then also like, I had no idea that was a thing, you know, and right. I think I said that when I was on the show, and Owen's like, wait a minute, what? There's a, you know, like,
I don't send it to Owen. No. So I guess maybe it keeps it fresh because I feel like with me and Owen, it's like I sort of keep the train on the track and we veer off and then we come back and we veer off and we come back, or we'll veer way off and then it's not till the end of the episode that we come back. But Owen is like not in that same mindset, so he's pulling it in those things. But I feel like I still have to have like a little bit of like, I don't like going into something that I don't know about. And that's sort of like how the NPR network started. It's because I don't know nothing about these things. I don't know nothing about boas, not enough to ask the right questions, or, so I won't do it right, and unless I'm like super passionate about it in the moment, like right now, it's like I'm researching boas. So I have those questions, and it's like, oh, well, what about this? Or what about that? But I need to feel confident in what I'm going to talk about, I guess, and
you know what my favorite thing is like, I just do an index card and I'll fill it out. Like I'll listen to like if I'm having a guest on and they've been on your show, I'll like listen to their episodes and be like, oh, that's interesting. I'd like to hear more about that or something. Right. And like get an outline. But my favorite thing in the entire world is when I don't look at the paper at all.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't ask about any of these things, but it was still a great conversation anyway.
Yeah.
But it was totally natural, but I was able to, but yeah, I get that same anxiety where it's like, oh my God, what if I need to prepare something? Cause what if I get this person on and then it's just like, so, snakes, am I right?
Yeah.
You
I think probably the best example of that for us is the Richard Shine episode we had. This is early on, right? And I'm just thinking we're just going to talk to him about Australian pythons, but like he did that research years ago, so now he's into different research, so he's like wanting to talk about the research that he's in, but I didn't research that. And it's like, I don't know, it's like the conversation, I wish we, there was, and then a lot of people gave a shit about the episode. They're like, that was terrible. I can't believe you guys fucked that one up, and it's just like, oh. And I'm like, well, why didn't you ask me to like tell me the questions to ask then if you wanted me to ask specific questions, but so, it's a learning lesson, right? You learn from it and you just say, okay, I'll do it differently anymore. But I found that sometimes when I send the outline to the guest that they feel that they can't pivot. So I always say like, look, if we go off topic, don't worry about it. Just go and just let it go where it goes. The conversation flows where it flows. It is what it is. If we don't hit on this, that's fine. You can always come back for round 2, whatever, it's not a big deal. But if like you're going to specifically give information on this topic and it's something you're passionate about, like, let's talk about it for 40 minutes, and before we move on to the other stuff. I don't know. Yeah. But I found that like, paying attention to what the guest is saying and having that conversation with them, like, makes a difference. Cause like, as we were going through last year, it's like, my mind wasn't in it, so it was like, I could feel that the quality of our content was not where I wanted it to be, because it was like, this is terrible, man. This is really sucks.
I've said this to people, and I heard you on Carpets and Coffee. I think I was listening to it live, or maybe it was the next day, but I was in the snake room and I heard you said something like, I want to, like, it was almost like you were trying to find an angle or something to do that would be new and everything. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, people just want you and Owen to show up and talk.
Yeah. It's weird.
I know it is. And like, but that's the funny part, is that people literally just want you guys and like either solo or a good guest. And that's all people want.
Yeah.
And what's great is then I was thinking that, I think I said that to Brandon. I think I said that to Lucas, and I'm like, people just want them, like, and then like you guys came out with your episode where it's just you guys. And, I put it on and you're talking about guitar picks and I'm like, this is perfect.
I was so happy that Owen did some research on guitar picks. I was like,
I think he's got like catnip stored away for you for when he can feel you're not in it 100%,
Yep.
And then he's like, boy, guitar picks, am I right? They're so different, and there's different ones for different times. And you're like, yeah, there are.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's go. You know,
I have a guitar pick on me right now.
yeah. It's so true. Yeah. I guess we know how to do that with each other for sure. Push the button, be like, okay.
Well, and so you guys had a cancellation, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And
Owen had his situation. Yeah.
That like when a guest cancels or reschedules, that ruins my day in such a monumental way. I can't even put it into words.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because it's not just, I'm going to sit down and record with this person. I don't know if you're the same way, but like I am thinking about that person for the days or week leading up to that episode.
Yeah, sure.
And thinking about how they think, how they keep, what questions to ask them. I might do research and listen to previous episodes, like I said, you know, and like it's this huge actual use of my time and bandwidth.
Yeah.
And when that person cancels and all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, we're not going to be able to record now for like 6 weeks.
Right.
Like all this preparation
yeah,
was for absolutely nothing. And then like the idea of getting somebody to fill in is great and all, but like, that's not the same. It's not what I was prepared for.
Well, it's funny, right? And the one in particular, this last show or the show before that we did, it was it's kind of like what I screwed up was it was Australia and ours, so I got the times wrong, and Owen was already committed to something, and it was like, oh shit, now I'm gonna have to reschedule this, whatever. So I messaged the guy, and I was just like, hey man, sorry, but Owen has this going on. I screwed it up, blah blah blah. It's like, we'll reschedule it or whatever. And I was like, Owen, what are we gonna do? And he's like, oh, I guess it's just me and you. That is the beauty of having a co-host for sure.
Yeah,
because I was saying to MJ, like, I respect the fact that you guys can do podcast, like you're doing it solo, and there's no safety net, if you will. Like Owen is my safety net, I'm his safety net, so
he's always got something to say.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about the chemistry between the two of us that just seems to work, that people like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're both great guys and you both have a good sense of humor. I mean, the stuff that you guys say to each other, like sometimes I'm like, whoa, like that almost crossed the line.
Yeah. I think that's the Northeast type of thing. Like we just are brutal to each other,
Well, and the years you've spent with each other doing it, and yeah, it's at this point, you guys can never end the show.
I know, that's what I'm finding out. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it were to end for 3 years, you'd come back, like eventually.
Come back to her like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Like 80 years old playing gigs still. I said, I think the thing that I think is eventually me and Owen will be the old guys and the Muppets up in the balcony. Just,
Yeah. And you'll have earned it.
Yeah. Get off my lawn, you little bastard. Yeah.
All right, man.
All good.
I'm so happy you guys are back at it, and I appreciate you coming on, dude. It's always a pleasure. I think it's been like 110 or 112 episodes since you were on last. So
cool. Awesome.
I appreciate you coming back on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Keep crushing it, and that
means a lot coming from you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
All right.